Welcome, everybody, to Raid Zone!
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and boy, does it feel good. How are we feeling, Evan?
I'm feeling excited. I'm
Oh,
feeling ready.
man,
I'm
man.
feeling hyped for day
Dude,
one,
dude.
man.
This
is
Evan, where are we?
Well,
This doesn't look like where we were last year.
we might be in the raid, but if we're in the raid, this is a little bit weird because we're actually at Bungie?
Guys, this is Raid Zone brought to you by
Bungie!
Guys, thank you so much for supporting us over the years, getting us to this point where, I mean, Raid Zone started in our room and, here we are today, and we just couldn't be more grateful just to be doing this with you guys. Like, just seriously. And also, my mic is falling out too.
It was,
Well,
and listen, guys, it was a project that we started in our house, and we came together, and you guys and all the support that have brought to us have been able to give us this opportunity. So pat yourselves on the back. Thank you guys.
Thank
for
you, ladies
just
and
supporting our
gentlemen, for
journey.
everything. Guys, we have such a stacked pre-show too. Like, I can't tell you how excited we are to go through some of these segments. I don't want to spoil all of them yet, but we got a lot of very, very good stuff to bring to you guys
Yes,
today.
we do. Yes, we do.
And on top of that, guys, too, before we do get into that, I also do want to say, if any of you guys next week are going to be at GCX, we might see some of you guys there too. Since you got Raid this week, we got GCX next week, so we hope to see some of you guys there. I know they got some cool stuff on their end too, so
They
just
do.
thank you guys
Yes.
for all of that as well.
Yes. Well, CB,
Yes.
Edge of Fate.
Edge of Fate.
We have Desert Perpetual
Yes.
now.
Yes, we do.
How are you feeling?
Evan, honestly, I gotta be honest, every single time we have Raid Zone, and honestly, anytime we have a launch, a raid, this is Destiny Christmas. This is such a big moment for not just, the Raid Zone, but for the entire community. Like, this is the one day we get a year in the raid where everybody just comes together. You can't sleep the night before. You get jitters because there's stakes on the line as well as new content. You have a raid belt, world's first, history, just there's nothing like it in gaming.
Emotions higher, a challenge is a true pinnacle here today. And I mean, you're gonna see storylines made, you're gonna see new legends, old legends fighting to become new legends again. That's all a part of day one. And we're so happy again that everybody is choosing this. This is my Super Bowl. This is Christmas, man.
This is
amazing.
This, like, literally, if you could put like Destiny Super Bowl into words, I mean, it's Raid Day One. So, guys, we're super, super excited to get into the pre-show. We're gonna get going here in just a moment. Evan,
yeah.
I mean, we've had so many raids over the years. It's honestly insane that, I mean, to think that now, capping off a 10-year journey with the Light and Dark saga, I mean, we've had raids starting with 2014 with Vault of Glass, all the way to last year with Salvation's Edge, and now here we are in 2025 on almost year 11 of Destiny, and we have another raid.
Yes, yes, we do. And it's crazy to think that in the 10-year journey, raiding has added so many different mechanics. It has changed so many people's lives in terms of going, holy, that is why I play Destiny. It is a big, big moment. It's the unachievable that can be achievable by anybody out there.
Exactly. With that being said, guys, to those that are at home that are watching, whether it's on Evan's Twitch, on my YouTube, on the Bungie YouTube, on the Bungie Twitch, who's going to be raiding today? Let me see inside. Who's raiding today?
Who's raiding?
We got anybody that's raiding today?
Raise your hand if you're raiding.
Yeah, let me see some hands.
Get some hype going in chat if you're raiding today, guys. Come on.
Who's dropping in today?
Come on, who's dropping in? Who's raiding?
I see a lot of me's. Let me call some people out. I see Mr. Jetty's got a group. Let me see who else has got somebody that's diving in. I see All Red is jumping in.
I'm seeing Rocket Boy, me.
Got Zeros dropping in as well.
I'm seeing a lot of me's. So today is going to be hype. There's going to be a lot of competition out there.
There is.
And if you guys didn't already, make sure that you sign up to the form that CB has out there for everybody.
Yes, Bungie did tweet that yesterday on the Destiny the game. If you guys want to make sure that you guys have your Twitch in there, we're going to be following along a lot of teams, and we're looking forward to, part of what Raid Zone is for anybody who doesn't know what Raid Zone is. Maybe it's your first time watching. Evan and I just want to make sure that we are putting a spotlight on all of the amazing members of our community that are just insanely talented. We know how talented this community is, and just being able to show you all of the action from start to finish, who's in the lead. That's usually the biggest question of that day is, Where can I go to watch who's in the lead? Who's winning? Or what encounter are we on? Are we on final boss? Is it already over? You know, all of those very traditional questions that I think people are going to be asking throughout the day. The purpose of today is to bring that all into one place, keep you guys in the action, have there be no questions about who's in the lead, what encounter are we on. We want to make sure that we are keeping you guys in the action the entire time.
Yes, there are no biases in that regard. We are here to find who is in the lead out there. And we've seen streams where they're streaming on PlayStation 4s, barely able to have it's chipping left and right. And we're like, you're in the lead, man. This is your moment. You got to get it. So it doesn't matter a channel size. It doesn't matter if they have a reputation. We are jumping into whoever is in the lead.
Right. I mean, who knows? Even if it's just a team you put together today. We've had an LFG team win a World's First before.
Have.
That has happened. And so you never know who might be in the lead, who might win, and that's, I think, the beauty of raid racing in general. Every single raid race is anybody's race, so we suggest as many of you guys as possible get in today. We're going to be giving y'all some Edge of Fates today as well, so we can get some more people in the action, as well as some cool drops for you guys as well for watching. I know there's an emblem if you watch an hour. Also on the YouTube site, we got you guys covered too. We are going to be giving some out randomly throughout the stream as well, so we'll keep you guys posted on how that works. But guys, I highly suggest you get into the raid today.
Get into the raid, everybody. It is such a big moment, and it's fun because no matter how you go about raiding, whether it's completely jumping in without any idea of what's going on, or whether it's building a team and practicing ahead of time, really racing for it, at the end of the day, it's all about the teamwork, all about the friendships, all about the storylines that you create for yourself.
It is, and all about the memories. And then on top of that, guys, if you cross that finish line first, not only do you get a belt, but I mean, you get your name cemented in history. Yes. And so that's one of the coolest things. I know that's why, I mean, Evan's documented so much raid history over the years as well. There's just so much rich history over these last almost 11 years, and we're looking forward to seeing who writes their name in history today.
We're ready, and you could be the first to win the belt for a brand new era of the game. So,
and even if you don't get the belt, Evan, I feel like there's something else that you're able to get if you do cross the finish line. Usually that's on the store. Very, very cool. Look, I feel like it might be a jacket maybe. I'm trying to think what it might be that you're also able to possibly get.
A wearable?
Yeah, something you can put on, I think at least.
Perhaps when it gets cold or maybe a little bit windy?
Maybe a jacket.
Maybe?
Like a jacket would be a very cool idea.
Yeah, even just for style.
If Bungie did a jacket, that would actually be really cool.
That'd be great.
Wait.
What?
Do they do that? What's that over there?
Salvation's Edge jacket? So,
So what we have is the last jacket too, guys, and we are going to, as always, every single raid, there's always a new jacket that you guys are able to unlock after you cross the finish line. And if you guys are wanting to grab the next jacket, let's take a look and see what that looks like.
Let's take a look.
Let's take a quick look. Jacket me up real quick, Evan.
I'm gonna try, Simi. I'm gonna try not to break. Oh, look at how beautiful that is.
I almost don't feel worthy.
I feel like,
guys, last raid zone for anybody who was with us, 19 hours standing straight. What an amazing raid race that is. Guys, while Evan's putting this jacket on me, how long do you guys think this raid's gonna take? What are we thinking? Also, thank you, Mr. Evan.
Yep.
Thank you.
Congratulations on clearing Salvations.
Guys. How am I looking? How am I looking? Do I just stay like this for the rest of the day? Guys, how am I looking? Oh, Evan, how are you feeling?
I mean, dude, that looks good on you.
Hold on.
The suit jacket is cool, but Salvation's Edge jacket,
I think this is. I think I'm gonna have to get me the next one. I think that Desert Perpetual jacket, that might have my name on it. This is hard. This is okay. All right, Evan, take it off me before I'm not even gonna wear this. I'm not even gonna wear the suit the rest of the day. Let me just take it off now. Let me take it off now. Yeah, that's a little too much drip for the day.
This is way too nice.
Yeah, this just put me to shame. I feel like I can't even wear my jacket anymore. All right, let me now put my jacket back on. I feel like that just derailed me. I don't even think I can focus.
I'm gonna be honest.
What's that?
This is one of this design. I love the color palette. I'm excited to see what the new one looks like.
Evan, what are some jackets that you've had? I know you've got some over the years. I know I have Crown of Sorrows. Anybody have any raid jackets in chat?
I actually have this one at home.
Do you?
Yeah, I just haven't told you because I know that you might be like, hey.
Oh, I would have stole it.
Yeah.
I would have taken it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to tell you. I was just like, hey, you know.
That's actually really cool. So if you have that one, which comes from the longest rate race, and then also our roommate, Mr. Swatzicle, has the Last Wish one too. We got a couple of those very long ones in there. Let me grab this. Where's Mr. Evan?
Yes.
Give me that right behind you there.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then there we go.
All right, lovely. Well, I can tell you guys once again, today is one of those days that even if you're not competing for a jacket, even if you're not competing but you just want to have fun with some crew, maybe just like have a little slice of pizza and hang out and just run the raid. I like pizza too.
I like pizza.
But it's like, at the end of the day, as long as you're participating in some way, if you can, or if you play the raid however you want to, maybe you want to wait for contest mode to end, you want to just enjoy the normal raid with some friends, or maybe you're on LFG looking for that group and then somebody accidentally dies in the well, one of those things. At the end of the day, it's fun, raiding is fun, and it's fun for everybody.
It is, and it's something that brings people together. I mean, like, I think about some of the first people I ever raided with in 2014, and those are some people that I still talk to today, and it's just so crazy how Bungie and just Destiny in general has built so many lifelong friendships. I mean, this guy is standing right beside me right now. I mean, I'm from Virginia, he's from California, we're from opposite ends of the country. And I mean, if you would have told me that I'd be living with somebody that I met from across the country that I never knew until I started playing a game called Destiny, I probably would have told you were lying. But you wouldn't have been lying. But that's what raiding and that's what Destiny in general has brought together. I mean, it's brought lifelong friendships with people that I never would have met any other way. I mean, we were across the country. There's no way I would have known you.
Yeah, no, I mean, CB is 100% right. These things, like raids, every sort of activity that really requires teamwork builds friendships and it builds teams. So that's what Destiny's all about, man. And that's what especially raiding and day ones can create. It is fun, it's a fun competition for everybody, but at the same time, it's just a fun day. We get to do something new, we get to go grind for some loot, we get to go get some exotics, we get to go get our jackets, we get to go get all this different stuff. So the raid is yours for the taking starting today. It's not out quite yet, but it is yours for the taking starting today.
Yes, it is, guys. I mean, we got, as crazy as it is, less than 3 hours until it's raid time. And like we said, we have a lot of fun things we're going to be getting into the pre-show. We're actually going to be getting into it here in a moment. But before that, too, one more question, guys, because obviously you have a lot of different friends that play the game. Some end up being Titans, some end up being Warlocks, some end up being Hunters. Evan, what do you usually play?
You know, CB, I am somebody who jumps around all the time. I'm playing whatever just sounds really fun or whatever is kind of meta at the time, but usually I am Titan.
Okay.
Because if you've seen my Titan, which
I have. Usually you're using the Eater of Worlds set.
Eater of
4
World?
different colors usually.
Yeah, you know, he's an artistic experiment. We'll just call that, right? He's a bulky guy. If it's not Titan, then it's usually Warlock. Listen, no disrespect to Hunters out there, but once you get everything down, you know, I play on PC, once you get everything down, I don't need that precision jumping. I'm not on a controller, I'm jumping around, I'm flying.
Controller, what are you trying to say?
You know, I'm not saying anything, I'm just, you know, it's just.
But with that being said, what character are you guys bringing into the raid?
Yes.
We got some Titans, we got some Warlocks, we got some Hunters. What are you guys bringing in? We got all 3, which by the way, guys, this is from the Collector's Edition. This thing is sick, by the way. Look at this, Evan.
This looks amazing. If you guys haven't seen, this is from the Collector's Edition of Edge of Fate. So
very, very sick.
Beautiful Warlock, Hunter, and Titan.
All right, let me see. I see some Titans, Evan, in chat. I see some Warlocks in chat.
I'm seeing, let's see, what am I seeing? What am I seeing?
Let me see.
I'm seeing, guys,
Where are
what
my Titans?
class
Make
are
me
you guys
proud,
playing? Come on.
Give me a few Titans.
Shout out what you guys are playing. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Got Maniac's a Titan. I see Drift's a Titan. I'm being biased. I'm only calling out Titans. I see a few Titans. I see Robert.
I'm seeing Hunters. I'm seeing Titans. I'm seeing Warlocks. I'm seeing all of it.
I see some Warlocks. Let me shout out some Warlocks too. I see you Puffin. I see you Self. Let me get some more some Hunters some love.
I'm seeing
Let me
me
get
as
some Hunters
Titan.
some love. I see Kami.
No, I'm seeing a lot more Titan.
I see Bumble too. Shout out to everybody. Whether you're on Hunter, whether you're on Titan, whether you're on Warlock today, good luck today, guys. I mean, that's the beauty. I mean, you can play your own way. You can lean into whatever fits your play style. And we'll see, you know, what like lends itself the best to the raid. I know last time, I gotta be honest, it was a little rough for the Titans. I was feeling a little like the odd man out trying to jump into Salvation's Edge as a Titan, but maybe this will be our raid.
Now I believe, CB, and this is from the raid history video that I just made, the 7-hour video, but I believe it is a juicy one. And I could be misquoting my own writing on this one, but I believe within Salvations, it might have been out of the top 200 teams that only 3 Titans cleared.
I wasn't one of those Titans.
I wasn't one of those Titans.
And with that being said, that's such a interesting fact that most people wouldn't know. And that actually lends itself to our next segment. We want to see how much you guys know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in chat that didn't know that fact. So we want to test everybody's knowledge before we go into the raid, because as we mentioned, so much history when it comes to raid racing and raids in general in the Destiny. And we know a lot of you guys are experts on a lot of this, but we're going to see if we can stump you guys on a few things. So Evan, how about you ask them a first question, and let's see if everybody in chat really knows their stuff.
Now, guys, there has been a lot of raids over Destiny's 10-year journey. And with that, there's been a lot of raid races between Destiny's 10-year journey going on year 11. So here is my first question, and everybody in chat, feel free to jump in on this one. This will include reprise raids. It will also include prestige raids.
Ooh,
okay?
That's the name of it.
I know,
okay.
right?
All right.
But which raid race, including reprise, including prestige, was the closest finish of any raid race? And I'll give you guys a little bit to think on that. Now, CB, what are you thinking off the top of your head with that one?
Okay, so let me name a few ones that I know are really close. So, I mean, we were doing raid zone for the Crota Zen reprisal, and that was neck and neck with Elysium barely crossing the finish line first. I remember that. Evan, also remind me about how close Val was. Val was really close back in the day.
Val was super, super close. So Val was one of those raids that, you know, it took a while for teams to kind of get to Rolk, and then once they got to Rolk, they got hit in the mouth by, actually I should say kicked in the mouth by Rolk.
Right.
So, I mean, Val the Disciple, it was close, but...
And then I see a lot of crowns.
Yes.
If we remember the
similar
crown
stories,
situation.
unfortunately.
That was a heartbreaker. I mean, that's just one of those, chat. If you know, you know. And so that was a very close one too. We know that was close. Root of Nightmares was pretty close. That was another raid zone that we did. But
Crota's Reprisal was also pretty close.
Right, that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Like that one was neck and neck. I remember the wipe that Elysium had. We thought they had thrown Worlds first, but they actually were able to still clutch up and make up the time. And that was a really intense raid zone.
Yep.
With that being said, Evan, I feel like I haven't seen the answer.
I've seen the answer in chat once or twice.
But
I'm at the point now. I'm at the point now where I'm going to try to get this answer out there before everybody's checking Raid Report and Raid Hub. Okay.
All right. So let them know.
Here we go. The answer is Prestige Spire of Stars. Woo! Look at the time difference. That is a 31-second time difference.
Evan, that's the difference in just what you just said there. And the next one happened.
I know. It was that close. Imagine 31 seconds. Like imagine what that actually looks like. That means that you are doing damage to Valka Or, and then a team is on final stand right before you're about to get to final stand.
Right.
You are right there.
That is insane, guys. 31 seconds. And with that being said, with such a short period of time, let's talk about the reverse for a second. Let's talk about a long period of time. And this isn't going to be a trivia question because I already know you know this point, but we're going to take you guys on a journey real quick. The longest raid race in Destiny 2 history obviously was the last raid zone, was Salvation's Edge. Almost like 19 hours, guys. We were there. A lot of people went to bed. You woke up, the raid race was still happening. Obviously, a lot of you guys know that was, I mean, it was a marathon. That was not a sprint. So we've had some long raid races. We've had some short raid races. And in general, though, like I said, guys, we've had some races that have been only cleared by, I mean, how many groups were there that cleared Salvation's Edge in 24 hours, Evan? One team crossed the finish line in 24 hours for Salvation's Edge. So that was the least cleared raid race in Destiny history and also in Destiny 2. But let's walk it back to Destiny 1. What was the least cleared raid in 24 hours in Destiny 1? Does anybody know?
Oh.
We had
okay, so we have Vault of Glass. That was a long day one, Vault of Glass.
Crazy day one. It was the first time we had raids.
Oh my goodness. We had Crota, which, I mean, we had King's Fall.
We did. It's a pretty
which
crazy
was a banger one.
That was honestly a raid race that really kicked things off into like kind of a new era almost.
Yes. And then we had Wrath of the Machine, which was, I mean, it was fast-paced.
It was a
electric.
sprint.
It was
That
a
was a
sprint. That was a
sprint.
sprint.
That one wasn't a marathon. That was a sprint. Evan, I'm seeing a lot of Vogs in chat.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of Wrath of the Machines in chat.
I'm seeing a lot of King's Fall.
I'm seeing
on
a
the Twitch
lot.
side.
I'm seeing a lot of Vogs, a lot of Wrath of the Machines. I'm seeing that. That's really the majority of what I'm seeing.
Guys, we gotta figure this one out because I'm gonna be honest. To me, it can't be between. All right, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let everybody in chats across the board just kind of put in their answer. But remember, we can only be so long before people are jumping on.
It is. And before you guys get on Rate Report, believe it or not, the one that you guys called a strike, the one that humbled everybody in the last reprisal. Remember, Crota was also the longest reprisal. Like that, out of the 3 reprisals, Kingfall, Vogue, and Crota, that was the longest reprisal in D2.
It was.
And believe it or not, guys, only 12 teams crossed the finish line in 24 hours in Crota's end in Destiny 1. The one that you guys called a strike was actually the least cleared Destiny 1 raid in 24 hours. Put some respect on Crota's name. The hardest reprisal and also the least cleared raid in Destiny 1. Put some respect on Crota's name.
Listen, that's our boy now, okay?
Hey, look, he's right there looking at you.
Look at him. Look. Put some respect on his name,
Put some
okay?
respect on
He
his
has
name.
been working really hard to make sure day ones are impactful. Put some respect on Crota. Put some respect on him.
The more you know, guys, the more you know. So anytime anybody's like, oh yeah, Crota's a strike, Crota's this, Crota's that, Crota is the least cleared raid in 24 hours in Destiny 1, and it was also the longest reprisal in Destiny 2. So there you go.
There we go, CB. And you know what? I gotta tell you, man.
What do you got?
I gotta tell you.
Tell me.
With Crota, with reprisals, there has been a lot of raids. We said it earlier.
There has been a lot of raids.
But everybody in chats across the board, just how many raids has there been? And this one, we're not gonna include Prestige. Prestige will, that's more, it's changes, but it's a kind of a modifier.
Right, okay. So reprisals and main
raids. Reprisals and main raids.
Okay.
How many raids since Destiny 1, including Desert Perpetual, have there been?
Now we're including Desert Perpetual.
Including Desert Perpetual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I think right off the back end,
Yeah.
we've now had 10 years going on to 11 years almost of Destiny history.
Yeah.
We've had at least one raid a year.
Yes.
So we know a minimum 10.
Yeah.
We know we're at least at 10.
Yeah, that's a good baseline.
That's a good baseline, guys,
Good
to start
baseline.
off with. Now we know we're about to be ushering in year 11 here soon, so we can say that probably at least at a minimum 11. But then we've had some years where, we might have had Last Wish, then Scourge, then Crown, or maybe we had a year where we did Deep Stone and then Vogue. So I don't know. What are we thinking? I see a lot of answers in chat. I see 100 in chat. I see 21. I see 20, 14, 16, 17, 19. I see a lot of different numbers here.
Well, the answer eventually, if we just keep typing in numbers from 10
You'll get it eventually.
You'll get
right?
it eventually, right?
Is that what's going on?
There's been a lot of people, at least on my end. I'm going to check on the Bungie side end. Okay, Bungie side end, we're a little 50-50 here on correct and not correct answers.
Okay.
And then on my chat's end, it's like somebody puts in an answer, and then it's like, all right, everybody else is copying their homework, right?
That's just a little. Let me just see what you.
Yeah, it's just
let me just check on your paper.
Yeah, let me just make sure that okay. All right, so the answer is 19 raids since
a lot of raids.
Since Vanilla Destiny 1, going into Desert Perpetual and including Desert Perpetual with no prestige. Wow. That is 19.
Which means the next one after this, we're gonna be at the big 20 of it.
We are going to be at
That's a lot of raids. And I mean, one of the coolest and most magical things about Destiny, it's so cool. Like we said, today's Destiny Christmas, and the fact that we've had, I guess, 19 Christmases.
We've had 19 Christmases.
That's pretty cool. So Merry Raidmas, guys.
Merry Raidmas.
And I mean, I'm so excited for today, guys. Let's go back for a moment now on the next question. And we talked about, like we said, Crota, you guys had the joke, oh, he's easy, oh, he's quick, oh, it's simple. And now clearly it wasn't, right? But now let's actually talk about what was the quickest, what was the fastest, what was the sprint, not the marathon. Because we already talked about Salvation's Edge.
Okay.
We know only one team cleared it in 24 hours.
Yeah,
we know it took
do.
19 hours.
We do.
But what was the shortest raid?
The shortest raid
Which
race?
one was the fastest sprint? The
Ooh.
40-yard dash.
Are we including prestige?
We are including main raids.
Main raids,
and
okay.
reprisals.
Okay, main raids, reprisals, no prestige.
Main raids and reprisals. I'm seeing a lot of runs.
Okay.
A lot of runs.
I mean, that's where my mind was going because,
Okay.
you know, like Ron, pretty
Okay.
notoriously
Yeah,
short.
a lot of
yeah.
runs. Okay.
Okay.
Seeing some Spire of Stars.
Some Spire, okay.
Okay.
Some Scourge,
Yeah, I see some
even.
Scourge too. I see some Wrath too.
Wrath.
I do see
okay.
some Wrath.
Wrath was a sprint. We just talked about
I
that.
see a few Eaters too. I
Oh,
see a lot
man.
of different ones. So let's talk about it for a second, guys.
Yeah, let's go through.
So we do, like you guys, a lot of you guys, I'd say the overwhelming answer at the beginning was Ron. I even see a Ron for sure. So let's talk about Ron for a second. Ron obviously being the raid right before Final Shape with Lightfall. That actually went over 2 hours.
It did.
But I know of multiple raids that were under 2 hours. So right off the bat, guys, everybody who said that to the 90% of you guys, wrong.
Wrong.
Wrong. So let's
Okay.
talk about it for a moment. I saw some Wrath of the Machines there, which was also a sprint.
It was.
But believe it or not, there was something faster than Wrath of the Machine.
Hmm.
I saw some Scourge of the Past.
Scourge was a
Scourge was fast too. That was a sprint.
that was a sprint.
But there was something faster than Scourge. And that was Eater of Worlds. Eater of Worlds. And also look at how close it was between first, second, and third too. Look at that spread.
That is a very
very
time.
close, guys. An hour and 37 minutes for Eater of Worlds. The fastest sprint, the fastest raid race we've ever had. Like I said, guys, Root of Nightmares wasn't even second. It wasn't even third. We had Scourge of the Past, and then we had Wrath of the Machine, and then Root of Nightmares was after that. So we've had some very long marathons. We've had some very fast sprints, and I'm very interested to see where today kind of falls in history.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, we got to realize that raid is so storied because that was actually an LFG team that came together and cleared that first. So just saying, anybody out there, there's always a chance no matter what team that you're running on. So always keep your head up, keep racing, and keep the good energy going the whole time. Root each other on, don't tear each other down, just make it a great day, okay?
Yeah, it really is always everybody's race. You know, sometimes you have, you know, the teams that we've seen a bunch win, and sometimes you see a new team. And so it's cool that there's always that chance that anybody can cement themselves into Destiny history.
Yeah, 100%. Well, CB, speaking of Destiny history, you've been involved in some Destiny history. You've been around for a long time. You did, I mean, I just saw you last year collect every single exotic in Destiny 1.
Ooh,
and that was
64 days.
64 days of you being live. This man was live for 64 days.
Ooh, we're still working on that video. I've been working on that video 7 months, Evan.
And in that time, I'm sure you've had a lot of time to think about Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 and just, you know, other than exotics, also raids. And so this time, instead of a more proper look up the answer online really quickly while Evan and CB are yapping, instead of one of those questions, I want to ask a more personal trivia question.
Okay.
So everybody in chat, what is CB Gray's favorite raid encounter of all time? And I did come up with a few potential starters that I'm going to talk to you about, okay?
Okay, let me hear it.
All right, so from my experience of knowing you, I know you always say that you love Valkyr.
I love Spire Stars, I do.
You do love Spire Stars.
I love Spire Stars.
Why do you love Spire? Why do you love Val?
Valkyr was just, I mean, there's so many different parts to that. Let's talk about the raid race for a quick second. I mean, it was such a underratedly, excruciatingly hard raid race. Like, not every, like, a lot of people remember the Last Wish, a lot of people remember the Salvation's Edge, but Spire Star is holy. I mean, we were still in the double primary system, but Valkyr had so many different segments to him. I mean, the back part with the plates and kind of doing that part first, the throwing the orbs to the doors, the going up into space, the way Final Stand worked, the way you juggled the greed. There was a lot to Valkyr I really liked.
Okay.
I really like Val.
Yeah, and I would say Val was one of those bosses that required the whole team to kind of do something, right?
It did.
It wasn't one of those where it's like, hey, I can stand here and shoot some ads while my teammates are kind of solving it. No, you got to be a part of it.
Right.
And I loved Val too. I thought Val also had one of the most unique final stands ever.
It did.
But and I still haven't seen
I haven't
correct
seen it yet
answer
either.
in chat. Have you seen it on your side? Have you seen it on the Bungie side?
I haven't yet. Give him another one that I like.
All right, I'm gonna give everybody in chat another one that CB really likes.
What else do you think I like?
You always talk about one boss, because I know you're old school. If there's anything about CB, I know he's kind of older school about what he likes.
I'm a little old school.
He's a little old school.
A little old school.
You know?
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I always think whenever you talk about your favorite raids, you always, you know, King's Fall is always in there.
Okay.
Wrath's always in there.
Okay.
You know, even Vogue is always in there. Crota's in there, obviously. Put some respect on Crota.
Okay.
But you do mention Golgi a lot.
I do mention Golgi.
And
it's true.
I remember when we were running Pantheon last year, you're like, oh, I love that we're doing Golgi.
The thing about Golgi, the reason I like Golgi is Golgi, when done the intended way, I'm not talking about D1 where we one-orbed him and didn't even turn him around and shot him from the top of that little pillar on the left side, and then we dropped down and black spindled him or whatever we were doing. But the way that Golgi was intended, the taunt, it felt so WoW-esque. And the back and forth between the bubbles and juggling the taunt back and forth. The way that Golgi was intended was such a unique boss for the time. I do really like Golgoroth as well.
Golgoroth is just one of those bosses that requires full team participation. Again, if done the intended way, which is, you know, moving around, knocking down every single orb, it's great.
I still haven't seen it. All right, give him another one that I like.
All right, so this one is not necessarily old school, but it's still old school, and it's one of my favorites as well. Riven, the intended way, is another potential.
I mean, we see her right here. I mean,
look at the
one of
girl
the most
right
iconic bosses of all time. I mean, Riven, when you do Riven legit, I mean, it just feels so good. I mean, just so many moving parts in a scale that really, the scale of Riven really has only been matched by, I'd say, Witness and probably Oryx in original D1. Just the magnitude of you look up and you're just like, holy, like, good Lord, like, what a boss. On top of just so many moving parts, the juggling of the rules between the two teams and then sending each other up and ending up all together and bringing it all together, then dropping down and shooting all the different crits and then obviously one of the most iconic final stands of all time. And so much illustrious history and it took 18 hours and there's just I love me some Riven.
I do too, and I was just for the long raid history video, I was just looking at those old raid alongs where they were talking about Riven, the development of how that happened. It was so cool seeing like Riven originally used to have this placeholder of this gigantic knight. Whoever did that, you're hilarious. I love you for doing that. And also like the taking eggs from the Dreaming City, that was a big part of it. But the answer.
Here's the answer, guys.
I
didn't see it one time. And so let me talk about my favorite raid encounter all time for a quick second. Good Lord, was this just one of the most interesting, most unique, most breaking the mold of what we thought raid encounters could be at the time. Obviously, this was the last raid in Destiny 1 before we moved on to Destiny 2. But we had this traditional way of fighting bosses or doing different like in-between encounters. And then we just end up on the top of this wall, and this mega super scary Zamboni just boom,
I can still hear the
music,
song.
and I can hear the music in my brain, and just the pace of this raid, the juggling of the parts and having to bring things together. Mexus, I'm still thinking about it. Having to send somebody up, adding the Spidey tank when you're doing the hard version as well. But this in general, the pace and I would say just the way that this encounter broke the mold. This will actually always be my favorite encounter. Probably always.
And I understand it. It's always going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 encounter for me of all time, just because of what you said. It's breaking the mold, and it feels so different than honestly the rest of the raid. Honestly, the rest of really any raid
I don't think
that I've ever
I haven't
played.
experienced anything.
I still think this is like that encounter that when you're out there and you're on the top of the wall, you're looking over Earth, and you're just going, oh my God, like, I'm in like a Mad Max type of setting. Like, I'm ready to just like rock out, just ready to fly in full speed, full team coordination, and then you get slowed down by a mine and fall through the map.
Yes, you do. And if you drop the part with you,
if you drop the part with you, you're dead.
Yeah,
That's it.
Go ahead and restart. But
That's it.
I got one final question for y'all, and this is going to be an interesting one because this is going to really walk us through all 11 years of the history that we've experienced so far, guys. A lot of times, People are so, excited to clear the raid, but sometimes it's not just because they want to beat the raid. Sometimes it's because of what you get from the raid. So let's take, for example, we see Ribbon behind us.
We do.
I want 1,000 voices. We already showed that we had Crota before too. Maybe you wanted the Necrocastle. We've had a lot of raid exotics over these almost 11 years now, guys. And so what I want to ask you all is two different things. One, the first thing is, I want you guys to get in chat and name me one weapon type for a raid exotic from any game, Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, that we haven't had yet. And then after that, let's talk about some of the ones that we might want for today. We've had a lot. I'll go over a few. We've had Vex Mythoclast. That kicked things off. We had a Fusion. We had Necrochasm. We had an Auto Rifle. We had Touch of Malice, which was a Scout. We had Outbreak, which was a Pulse. Legend of Acreus was a Shotgun. We had 1,000 Voices, which was a Fusion.
Yep, we did.
Anarchy, which gave us our first grenade launcher.
Yep. And
we
then
had Tarba.
SMG.
What do we have next?
After that, we had Div.
Good old Divinity. That was our first Trace Rifle.
Yep.
We moved on to Eyes of Tomorrow.
Yep,
Eyes
of
First
Tomorrow.
Rocket.
Back to Vex.
Back Vex with the Fusion.
Yep.
Collective Obligation.
Collective Obligation.
Back to the Pulse.
Pulse.
Touch again.
Touch of Malice
Scout.
again.
You remember what's next?
Yeah, it's going to be Run. It's going to be Conditional
Finale. Shotgun. Second one after Legend of Acreus.
Yep.
Necrochasm again. One more time with the
Necrochasm.
auto. And then what was the final one, Evan?
Oh, it's a fusion rifle or a linear fusion rifle.
Yes, sir, with UV, which is our first
UV.
linear. So with that being said, we just walked through those almost 11 years, guys. What are some weapon types we haven't had, and what would you like to see?
I'm seeing a lot of people in chat putting glaive, putting sword, putting hand cannon. There are some other types in there, but I'm seeing a lot of hand cannon.
I'm seeing a lot,
Yep.
So let me go over them, and then I want to ask you, Evan, to kick us off and tell me what would be, out of everything that I name, I want you to name what you would like to see. So believe it or not, guys, out of all of the raid exotics that I named, which are quite a few. Remember, as Evan said, there were 19 raids. Now there aren't 19 exotics because we did had a couple with Spire Stars, which was the toast, but I love the toast. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I know a lot of you guys use that emote. But with that being said, we still have never had a bow.
Never had a bow.
Never had a sniper.
No, which is really surprising.
I know,
with how much Whisper has been a part of metas.
I know.
You would think a sniper at this point.
Never had a sniper.
Yeah, never had a sniper.
Never had a sidearm.
Never had a sidearm.
Never had a sidearm.
Oh yeah, I guess we never have had a sidearm.
Never had an LMG.
Wait, we've had no, we haven't had an LMG.
We haven't had a hand cannon.
Oh my!
The tried and true of the community. I feel like everybody, everybody always has to have a hand cannon for some, but we have not had.
We've never had a hand cannon.
We haven't had a hand cannon.
Wow.
And lastly, we haven't had a sword.
We haven't had a sword.
So what I want you to tell me, Evan, is out of those choices that I just gave you, what would you like to see? I just named 7 types.
And everybody
in chat, sound off of what you'd like to see.
Everybody definitely chip in, say what you would like to see, and even say why you'd like to see it in the raid.
Agreed.
For me, it's going to be a glaive. I feel like glaives are in this weird spot where we're constantly going, okay, they can be good if you know how to use them. Swords, they're like somewhere between a sword and a shotgun, right? Obviously.
Right.
Glaives are this super unique exotic type that I feel like if in the hands of a raid where everybody's like, oh my god, I have the new glaive and it's a glaive meta, that'd be so fun. I think a glaive would be just awesome. Just because, again, it would be something super different and something where everybody's like, I have to get in the raid for the glaive, which is,
That would be a nice twist of fate. I would like
with the introduction of glaives, we had Rolk's Lubre's Ruin glaive, and that was like literally holding Rolk's glaive is pretty cool.
It was. Let's see a few people in chat. I'm seeing some sidearms. I'm seeing some hand cannons. I'm seeing some rockets. I'm seeing some LMG or hand cannon. I see a couple glaives. Some people holding it down.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to the glaive crew. I see rocket sidearm a lot. The rocket-assisted sidearm would be really
Rocket
cool too.
sidearms is something that's it got introduced still relatively recently. It's one of the newer types.
Yep.
Would be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool for an exotic.
Well, Evan, we will see today.
We will. We're going to have to wait and see. And guys, today's going to be awesome. Today's one of those days where it's Destiny Christmas, man.
It is Destiny Christmas. I mean, man, it's just, It's crazy that once again we are here on raid day again, guys, and we're going to be finding out whatever that exotic ends up being today. Whether it's any of those types or maybe it's a type that we've seen before. But regardless, whatever it is, we're going to find out here together today, guys. That's what the purpose of Raid Zone is, and we can't wait to have that moment with you guys.
CB, while I have you here, and everybody in chat, please feel free to sound off. What was the most kind of impactful raid exotic to you? What was the one that you were like, oh, this is my raid exotic? Like, this is the one from the raid. Maybe not necessarily just utility, right? But like impact to you. What was the most impactful one for you?
It was Touch of Malice in D1.
Okay, Touch of Malice.
D1. I mean, I'll give you all the reasons too. I mean, it was the way that the Dreadnought already was introduced. This such such a cool and large and scale space, and the calcified fragments. You guys remember? I actually brought up going back to D1 for the 64 days. I did go back and collect those calcified fragments again. The collecting of all those calcified fragments was just such a core memory. Did anybody else collect any calcified fragments?
Any calcified fragment enjoyers?
Any OGs that went and collected the calcified fragments? If you did, guys, you remember. But I think that process of going through the Dreadnought and discovering not only different secret areas, but also unlocking a raid exotic at the same time and having this blend of exploration and raid quests at the same time. And also, to a certain degree, breaking the mold of what raid exotics were, in the sense of, we kind of had a random drop from Vex Mythic class. Crux, you did have to get the Huskable Force, that kind of did break the mold, but you still did have to wait for the random drop for Crux.
Yeah, you did.
But the first time there was no elements of randomness to it. It was just this explorative slash just mysterious.
Yeah, it had this.
I don't know. I loved it, Evan, and then it was so good, and then I was the Titan in the bubble that was going in and out and killing the ogres.
Yep.
What about you?
Okay, well, I think what I like to do is break them up into what I enjoy out of a quest exotic versus what I enjoy out of a random drop exotic, right? Quest exotic, I gotta agree. Touch of Malice. I mean, it felt like the DLC was just navigating me through to get to the final goal of Touch of Malice to make Oryx an easier fight in D1. Right? Like, it was like the
100%.
Yeah, once you had touch, then it was like, okay, Oryx is going down, right? In non-quest exotics. Oh, but then there's Outbreak. Oh my God, hold on, wait. I changed my answer. I love Touch of Malice.
Outbreak.
I'm going Outbreak Prime. For Destiny 1, I'm going Outbreak Prime. Well, Quest exotic, I'm going Outbreak Prime. Because hear me out, guys. We came together as a whole community to solve a puzzle. We threw in everything into Owl Sector. We had all that stuff ready, and then we mapped out the Siva node. We opened it up. We got the chest. Then we had to unlock all the lasers by turning off all the monitors just to unlock the quest. I don't know my binary. I had to look up my binary. I had to figure it out, and then hey, don't look at me like that. I don't know my binary.
Okay.
I'm just a gamer. I'm not a binary kind of gamer. I could tell you, Outbreak, it is so much treasured history, and Outbreak Prime is my favorite quest that is the quest exotic. My RNG exotic, the one that was just so special. Man, like, Anarchy is great because Anarchy is probably my favorite exotic of all time.
Okay.
But it was such a great time. But I gotta say, man, original Vex Mythoclast was probably the one.
And it was the raid exotic.
It was the raid exotic.
First one.
And the thing is, Vex Mythoclast, you would hear these stories of, like, it was almost like Dredge and Yor was hunting you down, right? It was almost like, it was like Dredge and Yor put down the Thorn and picked up the Vex Mythoclast in Crucible, because you would hear these stories of people just getting annihilated. In 0.2 seconds, people were just dying in Crucible, and it was like, I gotta get into the raid. I gotta get this Vex Mythoclast for myself, but almost nobody had it.
Right. No, it's honestly crazy, guys. And I mean, last question too on it, and then let's kind of shift gears. But what do you guys prefer between random drop and quest? I mean, I've seen a lot of your guys' favorites. I've seen you guys mention pretty much every single exotic I think that's dropped. But do you guys like quest? Do you like randomness? What do you guys enjoy?
Yeah.
And then I want to shift gears after I see some of your guys' answers. And while we're seeing some of those, while you spam those in, I want to say some thank yous too on both ends because we appreciate you guys supporting Raid Zone so much. I see some insane generosity. Dane, thank you for those 5 gifts. Craig, thank you for the 100. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Thank you for the gift as well. I know there's a bunch on the Twitch
Yes,
side too.
yes,
Thank
yes.
you guys.
Thank you guys for all of the support across the board. We really
do appreciate it, guys. Just thank you for supporting Raid Zone. I'm seeing a lot of quests. I'm seeing a lot of random drops. It's seeming pretty split.
Yep.
But
random with Catalyst, random quests for Catalyst, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
So, guys, with that being said, we've talked about the exotics. We've talked about some of the history of the exotics. Let's shift it back to day one racing, and especially for all the teams that are going to go for it. We decided that we would talk to our third housemate, Mr. Swatzicle, a 3-time world's first winner.
Let's see what he has to say.
Let's see.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to, I don't know where we are, but Evan and CB have trusted Evan and CB to do an interview with Mr. 3-time world's first raid champion, Swatzicle.
Hello.
So, Sweat, with all your time raiding, what has been the biggest hurdle in all of the raids for you? And how can some people at home kind of prepare themselves mentally for this one?
Oh boy, you're gonna love this one. It's been a ritual. I've talked about this maybe one time every single year, except for this year because I forgot to go to the store. I only start my morning before a raid with a peanut butter Quaker granola bar.
With that being said, Evan mentioned 3 times world's first, so he's got to be a part of some very, very crazy moments. So what I want to ask is when you're right at the finish line, let's take Valcor, let's take Riven, when it takes like that last bit of push and keeping it together, how do you keep it together and keep the nerves in check and keep everybody as a group like locked in to bring a world's first home?
I think one of the biggest things is just making sure you're calm and collected, because I've seen people that no shots fired. I've seen people lose multiple world's first by not staying calm and collected, especially during final stand. People start yelling and screaming, and it's probably the most important thing when things get very heated.
Simple question. Obviously, you're kind of raiding with a new squad this time. What with this new squad do you see some differences? Is there some veterans speak to some of the new guys? Is there a lot of like just good feelings all around? What can you say about this new squad?
It's just nice to be in a group where everybody really wants it. It's obviously nothing personal against the last group, but basically half the team, we've won, again, like not to brag, but like we won multiple times, and they just got to a point where they didn't really care about winning too much anymore. They kind of like set their legacy in stone and just wanted to move forward doing other things and just kind of like take it easy, I guess. And the other half of us still want to take it very seriously. So that's where we're at.
Well, I think that's a good segue. I mean, you've been playing the game now for a decade. We all have. Just talk about raid racing in general. Like, I feel like it's to a certain degree, like this game has changed all of our lives. But in terms of the raid racing aspect, like what does raid racing mean to you?
I don't know. I've always been a competitive gamer, and this is like the one day a year where I really feel like, I don't know, something in me awakens. It's kind of, that's so cringe.
Cut that part out. Just pretend you didn't hear that.
I don't know. It's just like, it's the one day a year where I really get to enjoy the thing I enjoy doing most, which is gaming on a competitive level. It's a great time to bring the community together, race against some robots, have some fun, shoot some aliens, and make some memories with friends.
Speaking of this new era, I'll kind of keep this question pretty short. What's your kind of guess, prediction-wise, on how long this world's first goes? And what do you want from this one?
I want to win. I don't know. I'm going off my gut feeling. I think it's going to be like a little 4 or 5 hour juicer. I hope it's longer than Root of Nightmares. That's all I'm hoping for.
So we know how much like Last Wish means to you. But if we were to, I'm just going to, for one moment, let's take away Last Wish and let's take away Spire, 2 of the belts that we have. What would your favorite raid be out of those, like outside of those 2, if we were to say, just let's remove those, no bias. What would you say your favorite raid is?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the cult classic, Wrath of the Machine. Will it come back? Who knows? Stay tuned.
Well, I was going to ask you as my final question, but you kind of answered as the first question. I was going to say, do you have any like day one rituals to kind of end us off here?
Like granola bar, bro.
Granola bar, that's it? That's all you eat all day?
At least until the raid's done. I do think that fasting helps me focus more. That's just maybe a me thing. I don't know. Obviously staying hydrated with some good water.
The final question that we have today, and the one that's going to lead us out back to the studio for the other CB and Evan out there, was going to be, do you have any day one rituals, like raid race rituals? Because, you know, you said the granola bar the first time I asked you, and then I noticed something else on day one that gets busted out. You want to talk about that?
Didn't last time, but I usually wear the headband.
Usually wears the headband. Why the headband? What's the significance?
It was just kind of a thing I did, one of those goofy things that I thought of, and I had like, for the record, I wore the headband before Ninja did, okay? Check the logs. I don't know, you just kind of got to make like goofy rituals for fun stuff like this. Make it memorable.
Cool. Well, thank you. CB, any final words?
Thanks for watching Raid Zone.
Couldn't have said it better. Back to Evan and CB in the studio right now.
Well, thank you, Swatzicle.
Thank you,
for
Mr.
all
Sweat.
those amazing tips and insight on just what goes into being able to cross the finish line first in the world. I mean, multiple times too. I mean, we're so excited to see hopefully some new faces jump in and try to test your, I would just say your skills and your experience, your might,
everything,
just your wits, just everything. I mean, it's so cool to see new teams and new faces jump in. So guys, like I said, even if this is your first raid race, we really do hope that you guys will give it a try and jump in today. Is there anybody in chat that this is your first time doing a contest raid race?
Raise your hand if it's your first time doing
Let's shout out. Do we
contest.
have any new people, any new faces? I'm gonna check all the chats. I'm gonna shout out a few. Do we got a few?
Any first time day one racers out there? Any first time day one
I see it.
attempts?
Zach's first time. Shout out to you.
Yep.
Colt Trip. Shout out to you as well.
Flash, I'm seeing
luck
it's your
today.
first time. I'm seeing me. Chart spaced out the me. I like that. I'm jumping in first today.
Reason as well.
I love hearing that it's people's first time jumping into day one. It's so special, man. That contest modifier, everything about it, it's so cool.
It is, guys, and so hopefully you guys, have a great time. Like we said, we heard a little bit from Sweat. Make sure you guys get a snack in before. Also, big shout out to Sweat again too. Make sure you mods, make sure to put in his links on both times. Thank you for taking the time to add to the pre-show. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How many times do you think people are gonna wear sweatbands now that they heard that he's got the sweatband and that he did it before Ninja?
Yeah, that's the secret. Throw the sweatband on and there you go. Then next thing you know, raid belt just appears.
There you go.
Oh man, but guys, seriously, thank you so much for everything on both sides. We appreciate all the support with Raid Zone. Once again, guys, for anybody who's just joining us, we're not in Texas this time. We're not in the house. We're not in the set that we were in Salvation's Edge. We are in the Big B. We're in Seattle with Bungie, and we appreciate it. We just want to give another big shout out to Bungie and everybody at Destiny that's made this possible. We really appreciate it. To anybody that's watching, we just want to say we're so grateful from taking this grassroots thing that we started at our house to now being here with you guys, having our communities here, having our back, guys. We appreciate you guys on both sides.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate you guys building this up and turning Raid Zone into what it's become today. We hope you guys have all been enjoying it so far, and it's something that we want to, as long as there's raids, as long as there's dungeons, as long as there's anything, Evan and I want to, continue to be here with you all. And if you want to be a part of that family too, we do have a Raid Zone Discord. We'll have our mods type ! Discord as well. If you guys want to just join and keep track of all of the Raid Zone, Dungeon Zone, any other zone stuff that Evan and I do over the years, we would love to have you guys in there. We'll also keep you guys updated on raid stuff as things are going on today. If you guys want another place to be able to chat, mods will be throwing that in if you guys want to jump in there. Also, Jacob, thank you for the 5.
Guys, again, this Discord is meant for people who are just interested in being a part of just the zone events and keeping up with day one and all that. We're gonna have updates, everything ready to go. So, !Discord, and you're good to go, guys. Thank you. And again, how cool is it that we get to just be able to talk about day ones and just kind of share this moment as a whole with everybody?
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't feel real. It's just one of those things. I mean, I think about at least the first one we did together. being what I mean, all now 2 years ago almost with Red Nightmares, the first one we did together.
First one we did together,
Obviously, the
yeah.
one you did before being
Yep.
Oryx previous to that, and
Yep.
then Raid Off and Last Wish, and then just bring it together. It's just thank you guys for being a part of it.
Thank you.
We know we're saying thank you a bunch. We're gonna be broken records.
It's-
We're gonna say thank you.
It's
the
because
whole-
we mean it.
Yeah, when we
mean
do it,
it.
that's the thing. We're gonna be spamming it the whole day, and so just get used to it. I know it's gonna be annoying, but we're just so grateful to you guys. So thank you guys. Thank you again, Bungie. Man, Evan, we're here.
We're here. Bro, we are here.
man.
I don't know how we're here, but we're here.
We're here. And the rate, Evan, is almost, we are almost T-minus 2 hours.
We are.
We are
Oh my God, we're almost.
minus.
It's almost 2 hours, so we can open up
hours.
Christmas presents.
I know, and speaking of presents, so much cool stuff, guys.
Look
Make
at all
sure
this.
Again, I mean, so many cool, plushies, figures, art, jackets. It's everything in between. I mean, just so many different cool things. You get the collector's edition, just so much cool stuff. Yeah, it looks like Christmas to me.
I agree. No, it looks fully like Christmas out here. And again, CB.
Yeah.
Today, there's going to be the storylines made.
Yeah,
There's
alright.
going to be big moments. There's going to be big narrative shifts. Where we do have a guest coming up here in a little bit that I don't want to quite reveal.
Yeah, I heard.
yet.
I heard you say narrative.
Nah,
but
narrative,
I don't know if you were
narrative,
just- I don't know
schmarative,
if
you know.
actually
Oh,
said that. I don't know if you were teasing the next segment. I don't know what that was about. But,
maybe, you know, we'll do a little bit of teasing around here.
yeah,
Yeah.
We'll let you guys know in a little bit what we're talking about. Evan is giving you a little bit of foreshadowing.
A little
but
foreshadow.
We are very excited for the next segment that we have, guys. Just so you guys know, we have interviews with, a myriad of different people today. It's gonna be really cool. Some of the people you're gonna hear from today. We don't want to quite spoil everything yet, but just know, thanks to a lot of the amazing members in the community, we have a cool show today. We have a cool set of guests, so we're very, very excited.
Yes, we are. And again, everybody, thank you for being a part of today. Today is going to be hype. Again, what are you guys most looking forward to from today? Is it the loot?
Right.
Is it the encounters? Is it the bosses? Is it the storyline of, hey, what happens when a team out there beats the raid? Because how cool was that in Salvations? Team Parabellum pulls off the kill on the Witness, but Witness isn't gone. The Witness just aura farms back.
He did.
And then it's like, oh, the Excision mission is open. So this is, again, what can happen?
You kind of got me thinking of. I'm trying to think like, what am I looking forward to the most, like in terms of the raid? Obviously the raid race is always like the most exciting part for us. That's why we do what we do. But in terms of just within that raid race and all the things we're going to see within it, we really enjoy a puzzle. We enjoy puzzles. That was one thing that before Salvation's Edge, we were like, we hope we see a puzzle, and then we might our words might have been a little too strong because we really got a puzzle.
We got a puzzle.
We gotta watch it. We say a puzzle because God knows we'll see what this. But in general though, between puzzles, bosses, raid, jumping puzzles, there's just all these different things. What I'll say, Evan, is this. This is what I'm gonna at least say,
Okay.
and then we'll get into our next segment here in a second, guys, which I'm really excited for.
Yep.
We got Vault of Glass back in 2014. Evan brought up Vex Mythoclast and how that was the raid exotic that started it all. And here we are almost 11 years later. But also on top of it being the first raid exotic, it was the first raid.
It was.
And then let's fast forward a little bit all the way to 2017. In 2017, Destiny 2 launches and we have our first raid in Destiny 2, Leviathan.
We do.
And that was a very unique raid, and it broke the mold in a lot of different ways, the way the underbelly worked. And there was just a lot that was very different about Leviathan.
Okay. Yeah.
Evan, with 2025 where we are today, let's fast forward.
Yeah, we're fast forwarding.
Here.
Yeah.
We're now past the Light and Dark saga. As you mentioned,
We are.
the Witness is dead now. And with that being said, we are now once again in a new era. First era being Destiny 1 launch, second era with Destiny 2 launching. Now here we are at the end of our 10-year saga.
Correct, yeah.
So what I want to see, Evan, is I just want to see something that breaks the mold.
Ooh.
We gotta, and I don't
like
even
how
know
Siege
what
Engine was in terms
I don't even
of
know what
just
that
a mold
means.
break.
Right, I don't even know
Just
what that means.
something that you haven't seen
Right,
before.
yes. This is the new
Okay.
era. Like we said, before it was Guardian makes their own fate. Now we're questioning if we even make our own fate. So I'm ready to see what the new era of Destiny looks like. I'm hoping that's something that we'll see.
I would agree. CB, I think what I'm hoping to see, again, is just big moments on just big moments. Like hear me out. Because there's moments where it's like, okay, we're sitting there watching Salvations and teams get to herald the finality. And we're like, we're sitting there like, oh, is that Tannix? Oh, okay, it's not Tannix, but it's like, it's Shadow Tick. And then we go to Verity, and it's like, when you immediately looked at me, you're like, Evan, I think we have a puzzle. And I'm like, CB, I think we might have a puzzle. And you're like, Evan, we have a puzzle. We have a puzzle. So that feeling of going, I think it's this, I think it's that, big moments like that, it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have an encounter, it just has a feeling, and I want that feeling.
And I'm with that. And to shift gears, and we're talking about that feeling, we're talking about, as I mentioned, breaking the mold. Another thing that I think a lot of people have already really enjoyed with Edge of Fate has been the narrative, the lore.
It has been.
Lodi. There's so many cool ways that they've gone about telling the story so far, and I'm sure that's going to continue within the raid. And so, with that being said, when it comes to lore, there's somebody that we have to talk to, guys, before the raid actually launches. The lore, expert himself, the GOAT, Mr. My Name is Bife, guys. You know him, you love him. We have to get him.
We have to talk to Bife, right?
We have to.
We have to. Edge of Fate's narrative was insanely good. Like Orin, Lodi. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it was amazing.
It is. Can we get some love for Bife?
Can we get some love for Bife? Come on, let's get Bife in. Let's get some love for Bife. Come on, everybody.
Some hearts, guys, please. Let's bring Bife in.
Let's bring Bife in.
You know him, you love him.
Let's get it going, guys.
I have been summoned.
Oh,
he's here. Oh,
I can hear the lovely voice. How we doing, Mr. Bife?
Doing very well, and may I say, I'm watching the stream in the background, and both of you, as usual, looking dapper as all hell.
Bife, thank you, man. It just means the world coming from you. We are just trying to be on your level. You always look just as dapper.
Bife, if we're throwing on suits, Bife, I would say your voice naturally has like a suit of its own, where it's like it just comes in dapper, it comes in fancy, it comes in perfect.
I would agree.
Very soothing.
How are you feeling,
I mean,
Bife?
you can't see it right now, but I do have a top hat on, so I mean, in spirit, I'm right there with you.
How are we feeling, though, Bife?
Honestly, ecstatic. This is one of the strongest narrative openings that we've had to any expansion in Destiny's history. And obviously, raids tend to be a follow-on from the narrative of the campaign straight into whatever's coming next, and they tease really big parts of the universe, whether that's the end of Witch Queen being a teaser for the Disciples and the Witness with Rolk, or whether it's just, something where you get to conclude a massive fight. So, for example, the Witness with Salvation's Edge. They are big, standout narrative moments, and I'm just really excited to see what's going on with Desert Perpetual, partly because we've had so little said at this moment in time about what's actually happening in Desert Perpetual. It's not even the name is not necessarily giving us a huge amount of clues about what's going on. So it's really exciting to be on the cusp of something that is so mysterious as well, because no expectations currently for what's going on, and that in itself is liberating.
And that's what we love too, is the no expectations, but just being like, hey, this is new, this is uncharted waters, and that's, hey, even though it's in the desert, we love some uncharted waters in this case.
Yes, we do.
So, Bife, we did have some questions for you that I'm sure people are curious about, to pick your brain a little bit if they haven't been watching on the YouTube or the streams that you're doing as well, and they have some questions. I figured...
By the way, make sure you guys go watch it.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out Bife's streams, Bife's YouTube, everything.
Oh, thank you.
Go show some love to Bife. Hear me out, Bife. So, in chat, I'm going to let you guys know, this is maybe a time, if you haven't finished your campaign yet, to just... come back in like 15, okay? If you haven't finished your campaign yet, we're gonna talk about some campaign stuff because it ties into the raid usually, okay? So here we go. At the end of the campaign, obviously, there were some big moments. And we saw that we would be facing an extinction level threat, right? Is there a chance that we'll see the start of that in the raid?
I have no clue, but at the same time, it would feel like it's a natural tease going forward. When you have such a massive warning that is something that's been built towards for years. I mean, if you think about when a certain character was abducted from the 60s, literally hundreds of years, all of it in preparation for this message and for this moment. And the key to it again is that extinction that is potentially coming towards us with the death of 3. So we have to prepare for that. I think that we might just get our first tease of that threat in Desert Perpetual, because it is absolutely one of those moments where you would show off a big narrative threat like that. Now, that's not guaranteed. It may be that we're dealing with some more intricate stuff to do with the Nine, and that there's some interesting stuff weaving itself into the plot. But as a general rule of thumb, raids contain big narrative moments, so I really think there's a decent chance we see what it was that 3 saw as the cause of mass extinction as a result of their death.
Man, and Bife, I must say, for a quick second there, I forgot that I was standing here on Raid Zone in Seattle, and I thought that I was just at home listening to one of your YouTube videos. I got so locked in that, man, you just, every time you explain anything, I just like, you take me to wherever you're talking to. I forgot I was here for a second, I'm not gonna lie. But with that being said, Bife, I want to ask something that which is really a continuation on what you're already talking about, a little bit on what Evan was touching on with the campaign. So at the end, on that final mission, which I thought was so cool, by the way, we ended up in that final area when we found out that 3 was dead, and we had the skybox that was insane, and we saw it in everything in the background. We want to talk a little bit about what we were seeing. Do you think that's somewhere we might end up going? Like, is there any additional light you can kind of shed to what we were seeing in that final mission? Like, I think out of everything that I remember, and there was a lot of iconic parts to that story, but I remember just being in awe in that final skybox area. Like, can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I think it's entirely possible that we end up there, not just potentially exploring the remains of 3, which is wild for a whole bunch of reasons I'll get into in a second, but also maybe the singularity itself. The one screenshot we've seen for Desert Perpetual, of course, is that massive vista with a bunch of architecture that looks like it's straight out of the Eternity map on the Crucible, or perhaps out of the Prophecy dungeon. All of that is the only kind of visual hint as to what's going on, and yet that's still totally possible, because if we do decide to explore the remnants of 3, we're going towards a being that is a 4th dimensional being that has a carcass that's now been squished into 3 dimensions. Imagine if one of you was squished into a painting. That's the kind of vibe that you're going for. And that's going to break a whole bunch of stuff to do with, well, time, dimensions, reality itself. And so it's not impossible that then you also find these pathways into the 9 realms, which is sort of what it looks like in that massive teaser for the raid, that one image that we have. I think that's also possibly what happens if we go inside the singularity itself. There's a little bit of a deep cut lore here, but if the singularity is something that has been built up by the outer voices of the 9, and we're still not sure about that, it's entirely possible that we could see a bridge into a higher reality and a higher dimension there, where we might be able to more intimately interact with the 9. So it may not necessarily look like it at first, and it might be a surprise if it's one of these moments where we're seeing this first initial shot and then we're jumping back straight to the corpse of 3, where everything is very kind of necrotic and almost calcified. Yeah, the aesthetic could change dramatically. I'm really excited to see if they do actually go there, because I think it's one of the most iconic things about this expansion. Just that massive, ominous warning in the sky that gives you that horrifying prediction of, extinction is coming.
Yeah, and I mean, that, again, that final skybox that we were looking at, when we're seeing what looks to be 3, and we're just like, oh my God, it's almost like this, it's this thing that we can't understand, we can't even process. It's this almost eldritch being. It was amazing. And in the campaign, we fight a lot of Fallen, and we fight a lot of Vex. We do have some leaderships that represent both. And so I feel like a lot of people are kind of thinking the same thing I'm thinking here, which is that we talk to Maya Sundaresh a lot. When we're fighting the Vex especially. And Maya Sundaresh shows up, not only a part of episode Echoes last year, but also now very, very much a part of this campaign. And I believe Maya Sundaresh is in the cutscene as well, in some regard. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you is that, is it possible, or maybe more so, not even is it possible, it's always going to be possible. Do you think it's probable that we are getting a Vex raid and that maybe we're seeing Maya Sundaresh in the raid? Do you think that that's probable, Bife?
I think that there is a decent likelihood of it, yeah. For one, yes, we've absolutely seen a lot of the Fallen and a lot of the Vex in this expansion, and the enemies that you face in a raid of an expansion tend to follow along from what you faced in the main campaign. You know, sometimes you see a little bit of a curveball. So, I mean, Valve the Disciple, for example, I think most people expected it to be something to do with the Lucent Hive, and instead it was Scorn and Taken, the individuals who were serving Rolk. But I think Maya Sundaresh and her Vex represent a really interesting possibility for something that we could end up facing, because they are still a perpetual threat. Again, this is very much spoilers, which we've been discussing the whole time, so no regrets on this one, but the Archon is dead. And unless they can reincarnate again with their special abilities and just jump into a different body and possess that and then survive somehow, I think it's highly unlikely that we'll be seeing Elixir in the raid, but also not impossible. The Vex, however, are bigger than that, and Maya was not defeated. She was able to leave Kepler and accomplish her plans to gain what she wanted from 3. So there's the interesting question of, is there any kind of remnant force left behind there? Is there something that's maybe invading on the turf of other members of the 9? Or perhaps we could get a curveball, right? Maya might be one of the major threats that we're looking at right now, but the cool thing about the beginning of an expansion is it's a chance for us to establish more than just that one threat. So imagine a huge curveball situation where all of a sudden you see Taken in here, or perhaps Dread, and then you sit there and wonder, okay, well, what's leading these things and why are they here? It's all entirely within the realm of possibility, especially when you've got these massive, powerful entities like the 9 at the heart of the story. Entities that apparently everyone wants to go ahead and interact with for some reason. Principally, though, I think dark matter is what's driving these factions towards the 9 themselves. So no matter who it is, I feel like dark matter's got to be the key. I feel like that may even be a raid mechanic.
Oh,
Wow.
Dark matter.
Wait,
raid
dark
again.
matter?
Wait, don't give me. I'm
Wait a
already
minute.
I'm getting excited. Oh my gosh, like that would just be so insane. And it's crazy to think like whatever it does end up being is going to usher in this new saga of raiding, not only just of the story, but like this is going to kick off the next however many years of raids in general. So it's more, there's even more stakes to it than even just, oh, what's in the raid? It's kind of like, where are we going?
Right.
And
even if it's one of those disconnected stories like the Vault of Glass was, the Vault of Glass is still iconic, right?
Yes.
it is.
my
Oh, yeah, we
gosh.
still think about the stories of Praedyth and Caber and everybody who went into the Vault of Glass. And yeah, I mean, there's stories that are just iconic. I actually wanted to ask you one more question, Bife. I wanted to ask you,
go right ahead.
is there a raid story, a raid lore story, a raid lore narrative? It could be a single piece, or it could be the story of the entire raid that has really stuck with you, maybe inspired you in your own writings, and maybe has been one that really make you go, dang, like this is why I play Destiny. This is why I love the stories.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I know I've brought it up a few times in this interview already, but it's Valve the Disciple, and in particular, Shattered Suns. Rolk is a villain, and his story is not necessarily inspirational, but it is brilliantly written. I can't help but sit there and think of what would be an excellent origin story for a villain, and I keep coming back to the moments in Rolk's life as described in Shattered Suns. It's this brilliant kind of medley of horrific circumstance that maybe was tilted one way or the other by the witness, and it ends with this kind of callback. As Rolk is betrayed in one of the most important moments in his story, he sees relief on the members of his family's faces, right? It's just this thing of his father's looking down at him, his mother's looking down at him, all of his siblings and his cousins and everything, they're looking down as he falls into an abyss, and he sees relief on their faces because they thought he was a monster. And eventually, he proves them all right. He destroys his entire planet, and the witness basically comes along and tells him, yeah, you were right to do that. And he's then asked by the witness, what do you feel when he stands up, having just accepted that truth? And Rolk then says, relief.
Oh,
And it's this brilliant building of a villain. I hope that we get something as iconic like that for every single raid, but Desert Perpetual is wonderful because it has that blank canvas where it really could do anything. No one expected Rolk. Who knows what the villain this time around is going to be?
Right. No, I mean, we'll find out here in the next however many hours it does take. But if we just want to say, as always, thank you for just going through all of this with us. I feel like
Yep.
it now feels like a staple where we have to hear, you touch on, where we're going before we go where we're going. So I just thank you. And is there anything else that anybody might have missed, maybe campaign-wise, just anything in general from these first, this is day 4, I believe, like anything else, like any final things that possibly might have been missed as we close?
I think the one last thing, as far as the lore of the raid is concerned, is that I mentioned a little bit of stuff about dark matter maybe being a mechanic, but the other thing to remember is that if this is anywhere even close to being tied in with the 9, they're 4th dimensional beings. To break all that down so I don't destroy anyone's brains for just a second,
brain.
We're
it
ready.
basically
We're ready.
means
I'm ready for it
We're
to be
ready.
destroyed.
Brain
Ready.
destruction coming in.
Ready.
they see the whole timeline, right? Past, present, and future. They experience it all at once. That's basically what it means. So the interesting possibility for all of this is that they could be using the 4th dimensional nature that they have integrated with raid mechanics. I think time is going to be a key part of how this raid plays out, not necessarily in a final shape sense, but maybe in a sense of being, say, something where you have a mechanic that maybe allows you to hypothetically speed up as a means of improving your DPS, or maybe to slow a boss down to give yourself more time in an encounter. I don't think it's going to be the final shape timer that we had, but I think it is going to have an impact, and I think that's going to be the key of it all.
So you think there's some sort of manipulation of time rather than a pressing timer telling you that the final shape is coming? Like, it's going to be more like, okay, now you have control over how fast. Oh, that would be really cool. Time mechanics?
Well, I didn't know I could be possibly more excited than I already was, but Pipe, I'm a little more excited than I already was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, guys, can we get some love to Bife in chat?
Yes, guys, across the board, get some love to Bife.
Also, Bife, fantastic video too.
Yes,
the one that premiered
seriously.
too. Like, awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Seriously, that means a lot.
1000%.
I mean, hey, we've all made long form pieces of content here, and that means a lot. You guys know how much work goes into stuff like that, so thank you so much.
100%. And guys, the off chance you haven't watched, but I know a lot of you guys already have, please make sure to watch it. Bife, thank you. We hope to continue this every single time. We love getting to chat with you. Just thank you so much for this, and good luck today. And I'm so excited to hear you touch on this after the raid's over too. I'm sure people can expect an explanation after we see whatever we see today, I would assume.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, maybe not today, might end up being tomorrow, depending on how long it takes for raid completion to come along.
Right.
You can expect it. You can absolutely expect it.
Okay.
You heard it first.
Bife, any closing thoughts, any closing things that you want to talk about before we...
Yeah, one last thing, super quickly. As per usual, I throw my hat in the ring and my good luck goes over to the guys and gals at math class. Datto, you will always be the one that I'm cheering for, buddy.
There you go.
There you go.
And we'll see if this one is the one with ushering in the new era. Bife, thank you.
Bife,
we'll
thank
talk
you.
to you soon. And guys, make sure to follow Bife on both sides, his YouTube and his Twitch. He's been streaming on both, and he makes amazing videos on the YouTube side too. Bife, we'll see you soon. Love you, brother. Thank you.
See you soon. Have a great stream. Adios.
Thank you. Later, man.
CB, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when he said that your brain may not be able to handle some of those mechanics, he's not wrong. I'm just like, listen, I know a lot about the player's story. I know a decent amount about the lore.
Right.
But it's so cool hearing it from somebody who's just so perverse in everything, or so versed in every
Right.
bit of it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It is so cool.
Knows so much. I mean, the narrative, as we've mentioned with Edge of Fate, has been top notch. Shout out to Allison and everybody else on the team as well. I know I mentioned a little bit earlier, guys, the fact that next week, for anybody that might be in Florida during GCX, that will be there as well. It's really dope that, we're doing this week, and then we got that next week, so no overlap here. So we will be there, and I believe Allison will be there too, with a whole lore segment. So if any of you guys are there, make sure to check that out, because lore has been top-notch, narrative's been top-notch, and shout out to you, Allison, and everybody on the team as well.
Yeah, seriously. No, this has been one of the best narratives, I think.
Very, very good. Like, and I think of that Ikora cutscene.
Oh my God.
I can already hear the music. I can already hear it.
Dude, dreaming of the past, dude. I love that.
It was so cool too, because it was like, you didn't, outside of the music, of course.
Yeah.
You didn't really hear any words.
No, there was no. I think it was the first time in how long since we've had a cutscene that didn't have any narration.
But it felt like I never heard more at the same
Yeah,
time.
I felt it.
You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
was
like-
visually getting it explained to
right.
me.
It was like I had never heard more from not hearing words.
The most words that we heard was actually the song that was playing in the background.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was an amazing cutscene. Again, I think, and I also got to say, like, I think Lodi is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, very, very cool character. It's insane how much how quickly I feel like a lot of the communities really, already so attached. It's cool.
For sure,
Like, it's
for sure.
built up so well. Just a great character, a great story in general. And shifting a little bit,
Yeah.
like we've said, there's so many different cool aspects to the raids that we love. We've talked about the narrative. We love the narrative, and the narrative is going to play a big role, I'm sure, today. We've talked about raid exotics. We've talked about the race in general, and to tie it all back and to head back to the raid race part of it, Evan, which is something you've covered for a long time, like we said.
Yes.
There's been so many winners each time. Every single raid means that we have a raid race winner.
Winner,
right?
and a finish that, like, always has some sort of crazy storyline to it.
Right, every single one. And the last one that had one of the craziest stories, speaking of stories, but now stories within the community, was the Salvation's Edge raid race.
It was
19 hours. Verity, we remember the story that was, and then the scale of the witness. And the team that came out on top of that, if you guys didn't know, was Parabellum. And today, we want to be able to bring you guys the story of Parabellum from them on what that day looked like and just raiding in general. For anybody who might not have gotten the chance to hear from Parabellum today, you're going to be hearing from Tyrex and Jake from the team. We're going to be asking them some questions, and you guys are going to hear from Parabellum firsthand.
Yep, we sat down with Team Parabellum and we asked them some questions. Let's see it.
All right, so I know a lot of people are very excited to hear from your guys' point of view on the Salvation's Edge world's first race. And so to start off this interview, we want to have you guys re-walk us through the moment when you were about to kill Witness and like how you guys were feeling in that moment. Like, how did it feel when you felt like this could be the moment?
Oh man, so honestly, my first thought, like going into Witness and finally getting that kill, was I was terrified with how long we'd spent on the raid and how little we knew from everybody else. Like, there's so little information about who clears at that point, where it's like you get so excited, but in the moment you're still so concerned, like maybe somebody else did it, and it kind of like itches at the back of your mind. And I mean, you could even hear it in the comms. Like, I was freaking out in the sense of like I was so worried that maybe we didn't get it, that like I was waiting for that Bungie tweet for the next like hour, however long it took to come out. But it was such an amazing feeling actually figuring out that we ended up getting confirmed as the winners, and like doing it on top of like the 10-year capstone raid was such a crazy feeling to have.
No, definitely. I can remember during that one, like watching it back and just hearing, wait, like it's not over. It's not over, because I felt like just from the outside in, it was like, dude, when will this raid actually end? You get the final shot in and it's like, is it over? Is it not over? Oh my God, let's not panic. Let's all stay like well adjusted for this. We can't freak out until it's done.
Yeah, Astro and I, we definitely kind of reeled back, and like he was the one screaming, "Wait!" I was the one telling Tyrex to calm down, because we were both so concerned. Like, you never know when there's like that final stand, like Riven, for example, right? Like, you never know when there's that hidden health bar that maybe shows up, and there might be one more thing you have to handle before you actually get like confirmed as the winning, and it might just be another wipe if you stop paying attention.
For sure. Okay. Well, I guess I'll ask my first question, and I think this is going to be the question that's on everyone's mind going into this next one. So I'll try to make it pretty simple. Are you guys planning on streaming this next one? And I wanted to ask more specifically if streaming a world's first race changes your mental going into the actual race. Like, do you feel different streaming versus not streaming when you're racing?
Well, I'll answer this one then. I think definitely streaming definitely can change your mental, at least for me. I know having eyes on me and having a lot of people watch me definitely can affect my gameplay a little bit, but as I've, I guess, competed in more things, it's definitely not affected me as much. So because of that, I'm gonna stream the next day one, and I am also not streaming with a black screen either.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, I can like set an example for other teams, and um, the raid culture of black screens tends to go away because I think it's very bad for everyone doing that.
Cool. I wanted to ask a follow-up question to that, and I feel like you're gonna have the answer ready for me since you just kind of spoke on it. But do you maybe feel like you guys set a tone going into the next raid race by not publicly streaming the last one?
Yeah, I think definitely. Even with us not streaming, we knew prior to SE that just because of how competitive raids are now, that if you were going to be streaming, you have to, black your screen out or do many things to prevent other teams from getting info because of the scouting meta. So that's why we opted to only privately stream. But it definitely like set a tone going into this next one that everyone knows it's a lot more competitive now, and streaming is definitely a disadvantage for competitors.
All right, well, let's bring it back. Speaking of, the raid race, so getting back onto it for a second, let's take a step back from Witness and let's go to Verity for a moment. And obviously, we know Verity was a moment where really every team got stuck for various amounts of time, from Elysium when they first got there, all the way to when you guys were able to fully catch up and break through and then obviously get world's first. But when it came to being behind in Verity, because I believe you guys were in Herald for quite a bit while most teams were starting to get, a lot of attempts through Verity, how'd you guys keep it together and then ultimately like forge a comeback? Like, how did that process go?
Yeah, I mean, SE specifically for us was probably one of like the worst starts we've ever had as a team. We were stuck on first encounter. I think from the time somebody else cleared it, I think we were 2 hours behind them going from the first encounter to Herald, and seeing everybody else stuck on Herald. I guess not seeing, but like hearing about it. Because one of the things we really kind of keep an eye on is not really paying too much attention to where everybody else is at during the race, because I think for like your own mental game and for like all around vibes through the team, it's super important to not hyper fixate on like your position compared to other people's. But yeah, like started off behind in SE going into Herald and then catching back up all the way to Verity. Like, and we're hearing from our coaches and stuff, hearing like, yeah, everybody's stuck on Verity, and it's just kind of like, wow. So like this is like Vault all over again, like from Last Wish. Like everybody's stuck on this one encounter that nobody can break through, and it's a puzzle encounter. And like hearing it, it's kind of like this is kind of like our chance, right? Like this is kind of it's like now we're back on level playing ground, and eventually we got to this point in Verity where we solved as much as we could to get to this degree where it felt like we made progress and we started getting stuck. And from that point, I'd say what helped us really make the comeback and break through Verity was really pulling with a purpose. Like every time we would start the encounter, we would have one direction to try out, and if it didn't work, we would move on and try out the next idea somebody would have. And following that like strict guideline for sure helped us actually get through the encounter at a pretty good pace, I would say, actually.
Sweet. Yeah, I think on going off of Verity and going off of encounters in general, do you guys have an encounter style that benefits your squad the most, whether it be bosses, puzzles, execution mechanics, or a combination of them all? What really benefits your team?
I think overall we're a pretty consistent team in terms of what we're good at. Although I think if I had to pick one, I'd say probably bosses because we've never really struggled with damage or to say. Our witness, we ended up two-phasing witness and got him to final stand before our kill. So like we were very prepared with our damage for that. And then also like Crota as well. I think we were like the only team in the top 10 to clear with rockets. So I think we're pretty consistent with bosses, and but obviously like execution, puzzles and everything, like to be like a top team, you need to really have all of that on lock as well. So I think there's definitely strengths that like each of us have. We've got really strong like mechanic solvers and like ad clear plays as well. But I think yeah, probably bosses if I had to pick.
Gotcha. Well, to kind of weigh both of those two sides between the boss kind of execution and then also the puzzle solving, to kind of bring it back for a moment, especially if I was a new group trying to come in and to succeed on the level that you guys just did, what are some of the things that go into being able to execute at a high level when it comes to damage? Like you said, having the damage with rockets and, or being able to puzzle solve in an efficient way where everybody's able to kind of get in, try something, move on to the next thing. What goes into being able to execute quickly on both ends? Like, what is the kind of secret sauce in terms of keeping it together?
Uh, Man, for like in general for bossing and stuff, I mean it's your typical setups, your well, your surges, stuff like that. But obviously you want to lean kind of meta. Not everything. I think Crota was a good example of, even though rockets were meta for the game itself, swords naturally just kind of like evolved, knowing like not knowing in the race, but they certainly were doing more damage, paying attention. I would say, it's the best thing you could say to somebody, especially when it comes to Destiny, is not to overcomplicate things. A lot of the time, min-maxing things to such like a high degree almost hinders you more than it helps. And a lot of the time, you want to just keep things simple. And it's something we've always had to remind ourselves as a team that a lot of the time, the best way to get through something and not to approach it is to not approach it in some over complex manner and just dumb it down a little bit. Don't overcomplicate it for yourself and just keep it simple.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of team, I know you guys have somewhat of a new squad compared to last time. Has there been some like veteran speak to the new guys? Is there nerves for the new guys versus, the guys that have won worlds first? Like, what are those talks like that you would have?
Uh,
Yeah, so I mean, we've definitely like talked to them. We've got a lot of team protocols and principles that we go into every raid with. So we've established like all of them and got them all on the same page as us. But I mean, in terms of them themselves, they've all competed before and like they've got their own placements and everything. It's not like they're new to a top level team. So a lot of it translates over to our team and I don't think they have many nerves because of that. Yeah, maybe they have like a few more eyes on them now, but I think we've kind of like helped them adapt to our team and they're very comfortable and like excited to win, I guess.
Right. Well, let's stay on that for a quick moment here. Now, we have no idea, obviously, how long this next raid race is going to go, but we do know how the last one went, and it was obviously over, 18 hours, this long gauntlet marathon of a race. And so I just want to ask, in terms of like, we've already talked a little bit about the problem solving, about the execution on the damage side. But in terms of just the sheer length of races, like how do you keep it together as the hours start becoming, half a day to almost a full day? Like what kept you guys together during that race where it were, more than half a day in and you're still able to execute?
I can't really speak for everybody. I'm not so much of a like caffeine or like energy drink kind of person, and I know a lot of people really use that to like bolster in once you're approaching those like 12 plus 16 hours. Um, I think for a lot of us though, not to assume, but most of us really had that like adrenaline. It's kind of like once you're behind and you start catching up, it's a little more motivation and a little more energy every time you start getting closer and closer to the finish. And I would say, especially, how we talked about Verity, the moment I would say we cleared Verity, we had a pretty good idea that we were the first ones through. And I don't even know if I could really put it into words, but like the rejuvenating feeling of clearing that encounter and starting that transition to the next encounter, which we all were assuming was going to be final, it it felt like I just woke up again for the day. Like it was such a crazy moment. It felt like everything just got re-energized, and I think that's kind of how it goes a lot of the time. Is in these long races, they are demanding and very very fatigue inducing, but it's the moments like that that really kind of like light a fire under you again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely agree. Like those types of moments are where greatness happens, to be honest. It's where you pull off those heroic feats and then you go, "Oh my god, we can actually do this." So, speaking of that feeling, that rejuvenating feeling, in your personal opinions, both of you guys, which encounter has been your favorite just of all time? It could be in Salvations, it could be in Ron, it could be in Crota, it could be anywhere. And why is it your favorite encounter?
Yeah, I mean, mine's a pretty simple answer. It's definitely just witness for me, and that's simply because of the fact that the damage check and like the damage phase was so unique compared to anything else we'd previously seen. It was an encounter where damage was designed so you couldn't use a well or anything, you had to move around a lot, and I don't think many people were expecting that at all. So it was definitely like a big surprise and very, very interesting to solve.
Now, that makes sense. And in terms of solving, just in general, this is more of a, obviously, it's just a guess slash wish list. But how long do you think, slash, how long would you guys like to see this raid race go? Now, I'm sure you guys probably don't want to be going the whole day, but if you had to guess, slash, or what you're hoping for, what would you guys like to see the length of the raid race?
Mm. You know, I'm not opposed to another super long one because I actually find those super fun. I think they're very, very fun to actually be a part of. But I don't think anybody wants another Root of Nightmares type situation. I think the sweet spot is probably, you know, like a nice like 8 hour mark, and anything around there. I think like even 6 to 8 hours would probably be most people would be content with, right? And I think anything shorter than that, it's kind of it feels a little bit. I guess I don't know if it's disappointing, but I think you know when you wait the full year for moments like these, you kind of really want as much out of them as you can get. So I think somewhere around there, any longer is a really nice amount for a lot of the people experiencing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like Destiny Christmas, right? And with Destiny Christmas comes Destiny Christmas rituals. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you do to get ready for a day one, whether it be like a routine, a diet, a special thing that you do? Maybe you tuck a Tootsie Roll into your sock, something like that. Is there anything that you guys do to be ready?
I mean, outside of like prepping in the game and practicing, for me at least, because the raid starts at 3 a.m. my time, it's pretty rough. It's mainly just a lot of caffeine, to be honest, and I usually don't sleep for too long prior to the raid, so caffeine really keeps me going, especially for SE. And I definitely don't like recommend doing this, but it's rough starting at 3 a.m., especially like when I've got IRL commitments and everything. It's hard to like fix my schedule to be waking up right before that, you know? So it's honestly just a lot of caffeine for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, for you know, I guess being not so much Australian in this kind of situation and not having to be awake at 3 in the morning for the reset, um, just for me, it's a lot of it is kind of like pre-prepping for like food, I guess, is because it kind of, you know, when you're raising, you don't really have the time to make a meal or anything like that. So just having not so much like just chips, but like, you know, decent meals sitting around that you can actually get during like transitions or something when, you know, the rest of your team's moving forward and you don't have to or something like that. But another like big moment for me is I have a massive problem when it comes to like sleeping and scheduling stuff like that. So I like even now I kind of started setting my sleep schedule to get in a position where I'll actually be awake in time for reset, because I've always had an issue with sleep. So for me, it's something super important to set up leading into the raid.
So we just want to say thank you guys for taking the time, and we're really excited to see what you guys do this time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate that. No worries.
Good luck, Raiders. That is such a good message to end on. And Team Parabellum left such a big message on the last World's First Raid, beating the only team to clear in 24 hours. And a lot of those questions were asked from a place that came from the heart. A lot of their answers came from the heart. So we hope that you guys enjoyed that interview. You know, whether it be some rituals, whether it be some day one plans, some streaming plans, some favorite encounters. Hopefully some of that resonated with you guys. And one last big shout out to Parabellum. That is Tyrax and Jake.
Check
for
out their
interviewing
links.
us. Go check out their links. And see.
What? What's wrong? Something happened?
When did you swap the jacket?
I've had this on the whole show.
Well, CB,
Yeah?
you're wearing the wrong raid, man. That's Salvation's Edge. Take that off.
No, this is...
This is the Desert Perpetual race. This is the Desert Perpetual jacket. Get the Salvations out of here, man. We're done.
For anybody who didn't know that this actually is the new one. We had some people that mistake that this was the previous one. It's actually interchangeable, which is actually really cool. So you can kind of do what Evan just did, only hopefully not throw it.
Yeah, well, we're on to a new raid, okay? Desert Perpetual, and yeah, you're looking snazzy.
So guys, remember, even if you don't cross the finish line first and end up with the raid belt, there is the raid jacket to earn. There's so many other cool things that you can earn on and buy on the Bungie store. So make sure to be keeping an eye on that, because I will definitely be getting this jacket, guys. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like
it looks good.
This, like, it's almost like they fitted me.
No, it looks
perfect.
yeah,
It's
no,
almost
no,
like I
no,
already
looks,
beat the raid.
Yeah, no, you did.
I feel like
you,
I already crossed the finish line and I already ordered my jacket and I already got it. This like fits like perfect.
How long was it before you beat the raid? How long did you take to beat the raid and get there?
You have to see. You have to wait. And
no,
see.
but you tell me.
You have to wait and see.
Hey, this is chat can't hear us.
I can't hear. Okay, perfect.
How long?
You have to wait and see.
Okay.
But guys, we're so excited. Another big shout out to Parabellum, a big shout out to Tyrex and Jake. That's who you were listening to. Tyrex will be live. We'll make sure to have his links in chat one more time.
Yep, let's get some love, everybody, for Parabellum.
Big shout out to them. They talked about a lot of different really cool topics. I think a lot of light that was shed on that raid race. I think that there's a lot of people that didn't know a lot of kind of Parabellum story. So pretty cool to hear it from them firsthand. I'm excited to have them streaming this time. Really, really hyped. So yeah, go check them out. Also, another big shout out to guys to the Raid Zone Discord too. If you're on Evan's Twitch or my YouTube, make sure to type in the ! Discord and make sure to keep up to date with all the Raid Zone stuff.
Yes,
we got lots of stuff.
We got lots of stuff. Our guesses, the encounters, the community coming together. If you want to form your own team, the Zone Discord, the Raid Zone Discord is a good place to go. So ! Discord, check it out if you're watching our streams. Okay, so CB. With Parabellum and with everything that's been happening, we had a clan in the community go over, and some players in general from different clans go over and make a power rankings of the different teams that are going to be racing today. Just some teams that have, had a lot of experience placing decently high in raids. This does not necessarily represent what are the results today, but it does represent a bleeding heart that is the endgame community and how much they care. So, thank you to A-Tides and Clan Indebted.
Yeah, so what they
for sending
did,
us a
they
power
did a really, really cool stream. And so they had the community vote on the 24 teams that they thought would cross the finish line first. And they did this really, really, really cool, almost like if you've ever watched like college football or game day or any other sporting event or other video game events, like the projections on who you think's gonna cross the finish line. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys have a favorite on who you guys think might win. And with that being said, they turned it into one collective stream. And so big shout out to A-Tides. We'll have those links in for not only his channel, but also for the video summary of that as well. But the next segment that we're gonna be doing here in a second is actually talking about those teams that the community voted on. And just the purpose of this, outside of a fun way of doing some projections, is also just to, once again, as Evan and I mentioned, with Raid Zone, just shedding a light on so many amazing racers in this community. There's so many teams, and to be honest, just to be quite frankly, there's so many that it's impossible to keep track of everybody.
It is.
And so we want there to be a show where you guys can go to not only watch all of these racers, but hopefully after to be able to pop into their stream after, go check in on them. They're doing a lot of other cool, amazing things, and solos and low mans or speed runs or just anything you can think of, really cool content. Just in general, we want to have it be a segment where if there's some racers and some teams you might not have known about, that now you'll know.
Yep. And you guys can always go check out their stuff across the board. So yeah, thank you again to A-Tides for providing us this power rankings. Let's, do you want to get started on some rankings? And
yeah, why not, Evan?
Why not?
You kick us off.
All right. So our first team up that is in the power rankings, this is one that Bife actually mentioned in his kind of send-off and who he was rooting for. And that is Math Class. Math Class of Semi, Sith, Toes, Scarrow, Dado, and Sneak. Now, one of the biggest things that was different from the last raid is actually that Scarrow is racing with this team. Scarrow. If you don't know, Mr. Puzzle Solver himself.
And Mr. Beautiful
Mr.
Hair.
Beautiful Hair.
Beautiful
Listen, guys, I would keep it $150 with you guys.
Beautiful too, Evan. I think for 28,
Yes.
you look good. You turned 28 yesterday. Also, can we get a quick before he goes any further? I'm interrupting. Happy birthday again to Evan. Evan just.
Oh yeah, guys, it was my birthday. Yeah, it was.
I think you look great for 28. I don't
Hey, thank you.
I
I
don't want to hear
appreciate
it.
you,
I
bro.
don't want to hear it. He looks amazing.
Well, math class, if you guys don't know, have been a part of raid racing history forever, guys. Like since the initial where they were prime guard going into the vaulted glass, math class has been a part of raid racing. And one of their biggest things is that they just picked up a mechanic solver that is named Mr. Scarrow 9 on this squad specifically. One of the biggest things with math class is that they are always playing on team chemistry every single time we watch them. These guys have been playing for a very long time together. So seeing Scarrow even come into the mix is very surprising to me because it's like this team has been here for so long. And you know, it's really cool. And I know there's a lot of people in chat that want to see Dado get his belt. They want to see math class get the belt. I mean, we've covered stories of a lot of tragedy in terms of the belt, in terms of the days.
Yeah.
There's a number that sticks in a lot of people's heads when it comes to the math class finish line. But I mean, it's very possible that they pull out all the stops and they get it this time.
Right, and one thing I'll just add to that too is just, I mean, arguably, you can make the argument this is one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent team in the history
Yes.
of raid racing in general. They've been competitive since 2014, and it's now 2025. Can we take a moment just to realize that being competitive for 11 years in anything, like
Anything.
it doesn't matter if it's sports, if it's Destiny racing, honestly anything. It could be rock, paper, scissors, it could be anything. Whatever it is, just being competitive for 11 years is super cool.
Yes, no, I agree fully. I think it just shows a test of will and a test of just pure love for the game that to be that competitive for so long, but especially again, that team chemistry.
100%, which next, can we move on, Evan? I want you to go
Yeah.
ahead and put the fries in the bag.
Man, I mean, like, I don't
Put the
have,
fries in the bag, no more. I'm gonna do the rest of this by myself.
okay,
You've been demoted.
appreciate you guys. I'm gonna walk off set now. Goodbye.
With that being said, we got Team Fries in the bag, which fries actually sound fantastic right now, even this early in the morning. And with that being said, for those that might not know this team, Evan had talked about Scarrow before joining math class. So this is actually the team that Scarrow was in prior. And so that's going to be one thing to note and to be following along with the story with Fries in the bag is now obviously they have a new player in. And so the adjustments of now not having Scarrow, as you guys know, the puzzle solver, the chemist, the doctor. Every time I don't call him Dr. Scarrow, he gets on me. So Scarrow, if you're hearing this or if you're hearing this retroactively, Dr. Scarrow, because he's corrected me quite a few times. I love that man so much. But with that being said, this is a group of completionists. They've played a lot of Destiny and they've played a lot together too. They've been playing with each other for years. So this is going to be a team that, regardless of the team change, I think it's going to still be extremely competitive, and that's why the community still ranking very highly. All right,
Well, hello everybody.
welcome back.
I decided that I would just take a break from putting the fries in the bag and get back to what we love, and that is some burgers.
So no fries. Just
No
burger.
fries, just the
Perfect, thank you.
burger.
So put the burger in there.
Yeah, just the burger. You don't got to put the fries in the bag. You can put clan or team, in this case, burger in the bag.
I feel like there's somebody on that team that we might know of.
There is.
A couple, but there's somebody we might see in the house every once in a while.
Time to time, when he's not enjoying himself a nice, juicy, tasty burger. And that,
Look at that.
and the picture of Glad on the front too. So we have Led, Rexos, Vic, Glad, Sweat, and Apple for Team Burger. Now, if you guys notice anything about this squad with Sweat and with Glad, and if you didn't hear it in the interview already that we did with Swatzicle, you can basically hear that, Sweat and Glad are ready to go. They want to get this thing rolling again. They felt like, hey, these guys are young, hungry, excited for this world's first. So they are too. And you can feel that excitement when you tune in to their runs in their stream. Team Burger, they're definitely a team to look out for. I mean, Led, Rexos, Vic, and Apple, we've talked to Sweat himself, and he's like, these guys are good.
They're gamers, and so it's gonna be really cool. I mean, this is, I know, not only like we said, this is a new era of raid racing with this new saga, but we've seen Glad and Sweat raid with Redeem for so long, so it's very cool to see this new shift and see where this takes us. It's just a new era. We'll see what this new era brings.
Yes.
And with that being said, let's go to Team Wordle in 3. You guys good at Wordles? Any Wordle gamers?
I'm a Wordle gamer.
Are you a Wordle gamer?
Yeah, I did my Wordle today.
You
Actually,
did your
in
Wordle
three.
today.
In 3.
You did Wordle in 3.
Yeah, do I spoil the... Can you guys cover your ears for a second? Because I know what the Wordle is today, and I
You can't spoil the Wordle
and I just-
for them, can you? It's so early in the morning.
it is early. It's early.
Is there?
Okay.
What if it's somebody's racing routine to do their Wordle right before and you spoil it?
That's actually fair. That's a
can't.
good point.
This
I can't
could
do
be
it.
there.
No, you're right. I can't do it.
Maybe it's their routine.
I can't do it, but I did get the Wordle in 3 today. So
Okay. Well, if we have any Wordle enjoyers, big shout out to Wordle in 3, guys. So this is a team with a lot of amazing content creation. I'm sure you recognize some of these names. I see not only from the picture above Wordle in 3, which is G Miners, but we also see him on the team list as well. You see Llama as well. I know these are a lot of names that you guys recognize. This is a great team. They did amazing in the ultimatum races. I just think these are passionate, talented gamers, and also people that if you haven't checked out some of their content too, you definitely need to. I think that this is going to be another team to watch out for. And yeah, I just think super solid team. So make sure to be on the watch for Wordle in 3 and make sure to check out their channels as well.
yeah, no, I mean, like G Miners has some really cool stuff. Llama has some really cool stuff from what I've seen. So yeah, no, they're gamers, and some of them are creators that are also gamers. So these guys are definitely a team to look out for. But the next team I want to talk about is Guzman y Gomez, okay? This team has a couple of people that I don't think a lot of people necessarily know or give credit to. This is, again, why we're so grateful to Tides for kind of coming up with this power rankings and sharing it with us.
Right.
Because these are gamers that, you know, again, international representation, teams that you wouldn't know if you just tuned into Twitch normally. This is what Raid Zone is very lucky to basically be showing you guys, and that's that anybody out there are some really good players that you just may not know about. So this team is Defeat,
But you need to.
Ango, Mape, Feline, Smarty, and Dwylo, okay? And I want to just say right now, I've seen him play. Smarty is a gamer, okay? Smarty in the ultimatum race got second.
Smarty.
And Smarty is just somebody who just keeps on improving. He's a really good player from what I've seen. Not saying that anybody else is better or worse, but I'm just saying Smarty's a very good player, okay? And also, one of the things that I don't think enough people give credit for because it was pre-contest for Dungeons, Mape is actually world's first Warlord's Ruin.
Got out of that prison quick.
Yeah, it's all,
Not us.
Yeah, it's all,
You should have seen me and Evan on the first day. We were stuck in the jail for a little too long.
a little too
We
long.
might have been in
A
the
little
jail
too
for-
long.
Hey,
We were.
I didn't know that the tick was I'm not going to talk.
Yeah,
we
there was a line. It
we
wasn't
were-
a
we-
tick.
I
Was it?
didn't know.
You didn't know.
It
You didn't
was
know.
my fault.
It's
Was
okay.
it my fault?
Ah,
It was probably my fault.
not fully, but
Okay.
that's okay. That's neither here nor there. And then I believe that if this is the same Ango, that he's also from a clan that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So again, guys,
What's that clan?
Oh, you know, a very prestigious clan that has hoisted a lot of raid belts. That's all I'll say. I'll leave you on that teaser. You guys can fill in the blanks. Okay. Now the next clan, CB.
The next one, I've been admittedly working on trying to make sure for this moment here, I say this right. The Triboneophorus Gentlemanus.
Can I give a shot too? Triboneophorus. Yeah, Gentlemanus. That was beautiful.
I sat there and I worked on this all night for this moment right here. Hopefully I did you guys right. I pray. Hopefully, guys, if I destroyed it, just know I really did. I really did try. But we got Big Muscle Ben, we got KC, Rice, Sammy, Jacob, and Cap. Guys, this is a combination of 3 friend groups that are 3 sets of 2 duos. They have number 10 on Kingsfall, and they're very passionate. And what I'll say about Kingsfall, for anybody who was a part of that Kingsfall race, Kingsfall was difficult. That was even though it wasn't the longest reprisal, like I know Crota went a little bit longer, but I know a lot of people remember just how much of a check War Priest was.
Oh, it was.
And just how difficult that was of a contest experience. So getting number 10 is incredible, and it just goes to show that these are gamers, and you definitely want to be checking them out and watching out for them, because if you can get number 10 in Kingsfall, you can win any race. So I'm very excited to see what they do today.
100%. I mean, Kingsfall, I can remember just like, hey, you got to execute. You got to use all 3 pillars. They got to fully disappear, and then you got to barely get the kill on War Priest. And I mean, Golgoroth was brutal too. Golgoroth was smacking you around left and right. People were dying to the cursed throw mechanic across the board. That was a great.
It was.
raid.
It was.
Okay, CB, it looks like you even got the next one here.
I got multi-generational. I got
Multi-generational.
multi-teams to cover, and I got multi-generational here. So we got Noah, Muthe, Gaffer, Soupy, Nuo, and Razorcut. I know a lot of you guys are gonna recognize Nuo too. We've covered Nuo multiple times in multiple of these raid zones. Most recently, you remember we were watching him in Verity.
We were.
Nuo has always been a gamer, so you guys have seen us cover him a bunch. But another person that you might not know for a little bit of history, and this is why, like Evan and I said, we love these. Remember, this is the new era of Destiny with the new story. We had Light and Dark, now we have our next saga. But to kick off Destiny 2 with Leviathan, believe it or not, Noah was on the world's first team for Leviathan, guys. So another absolutely insane gamer. Just all of them are gamers. This is another team to watch out for. He had the world's first belt when Destiny 2 kicked off. Maybe he'll have the world's first belt again when the new era of Destiny kicks off.
And hear me out, CB. That's why they're multi-generational. They got world's first in the last era. They could get world's first in this era.
See what you did there.
Now I'm going to bring up the next team here. And this team, it says it all in the name. Viva la Lowman.
Let's go.
Okay, so
Let's go.
first of all, this team's got a lot of international representation.
I love
okay?
that. Look at that.
Viva la Lowman across the board is ready to go. So this team has got number 3 in Vespers host, and they're also just full of raw talent. So you have Dragon, Breeze, and you'll recognize some of these people from Lowmans across the board. Dragon, Breeze, Soto, Spite, Grum, and Hobo. Viva la Lowman is one of those teams that, again, you know, you hear the stories of a brand new team that, nobody in the community has heard of. The hardcore endgame players have heard of them. Viva la Lowman is one of those teams that we're looking out for. It's just a raw talent team that has a lot of potential to pull off something absolutely miraculous.
Speaking of something absolutely miraculous, Evan, how about you tell me another team that could also pull it off?
Well, you know, if there's a game day snack that we talked about fries in the bag, we talked about burgers.
We did.
But let's go with something a little bit more nutritious. Let's go with Team Nuts.
Okay.
Look at Team Nuts.
I like salted peanuts. Those
Yeah,
are
like
very good.
yeah. Well, you love peanut butter, of course. Everybody knows that. No, everybody. If there's a gift you could give CB Gray on his birthday, it's some peanut butter.
Some peanut butter. Happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. Again, yes, guys. Team Nuts with Mitch, Silken, Dabs, Enscaria, Melito, Ham. Again, this is a team.
This is a team.
And again, another international team with a lot of representation.
This is a team.
There.
Talk about
but
this.
There's
a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to talk about here.
So first of all, Silken, shout out to you again on the Lowman side of things, the solo side.
I mean, check out the Lowman community.
Check out the Lowman community.
Insanely fun tournament.
That was super, super fun. Just across the board, all these guys are they're a part of those things. They're a part of Lowmans. Some of them have pulled off some of the most incredible challenges. I mean, we talked about Melito. Whenever we talk about Explicator, we talk about Melito. Whenever we talk about solo raid bosses, if it isn't Bog, it's usually Dabs or Snazzy Rock.
There's Snazzy Rock.
Yes. If we're talking about world's first, we're talking about Ham. He was a part of that Parabellum team that won world's first.
This is a team.
This is a team, man. So again, this team is about execution. We know this. You would have to be about execution if you're able to solo raid bosses. It is about execution. It's about locking in when it is needed. So again, this team definitely full of talent. A lot of potential to pull off something big.
Snazzy, if you can hear me, the Caretaker King. That's the pop-off.
Caretaker King.
My favorite Snazzy pop-off.
Yeah, I do love it. I love it.
And with that being said, let's now talk about Team Phantom 1. We have Foggleman, we have J Reptile, Titan Skate, Derek, Big, Skates. So many amazing players in this team too. And Evan, we've seen these names. Let's talk about the most recent zone event that we've done.
Let's talk about it.
Being the last Dungeon Zone. You guys were here with us, and we saw the team that crossed the finish line for Sunder Doctrine World's First. It was Mario and Luigi, the two Mario brothers.
The Mario brothers.
But then we had another person on the team as well. Dungeons are made up of 3 people. And that was Biggs. Biggs was also, he has the most recent World's First on a contest activity. I know it wasn't the raid, but the last contest mode that we had, they cross the finish line first. And so they are a team that we cannot ignore, a team that has a lot of prestige. Another player that we saw, Evan, as well, we saw Derek as well during the low mans. We saw Fogelman in the speedrun tournament. So shout out to the speedrun community too, because that tournament was also great. There's
amazing.
So many amazing community members that do so many things, not just when it comes to raid day, but outside of raid day as well. So like we said, we mentioned the low man community, we mentioned the speedrun community. Make sure you check out all these players in those communities if you're ever interested in those things, because there's a lot of great people and a lot of talented gamers. And this is just a team, as I mentioned, guys, with the prestige of the world's first dungeon and all of these other things as well. Make sure to check them out.
Make sure to check them out. And speaking of dungeons, I want to move on to the next team.
Talk about it.
This team deserves their own redemption. Team Redemption.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
Okay.
is a French team of absolutely insane players. If you watched my video last year covering solo Legend Onslaught, then you know the name Zenaris. Zenaris was the world's first to solo Legend Onslaught. If you know the name Milax, Milax has been a part of so many day ones, so many challenges, so many solos. Milax is always getting involved, but it goes further than that, because it's not just speed runs, it's not just low mans, it's not just being a part of world's first in your own right, in your own harder challenges within modes that don't have those like massive community rewards. It is also world's first. This team has placed number 6 on Vesper's host contest, and they were the runners-up in Sunder Doctrine. They placed second in Sunder Doctrine. So again, it's important to say that there are teams from across the entire world. This is not just a one-country event. This is an entire worldwide show, and this team proves that.
Yes, they do. And moving on, let's talk about Team Unemployed. But they're employed today. They're employed on this raid race. So we got Jackery, T-Sibs, Uzi, Tay, Barbux, and Chade. What I'll say about this team, for one of the people that I remember post-Salvation's Edge, right after that I was watching a bunch, Mr. Uzi, who was grinding to get his solo witness. I mean, grinding, just absolute gamers on this team. And I remember, I think Uzi got his witness solo, I believe it was like early July. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was early July. I remember I was watching, I was locked in with the streams. And that was when, witness was insanely, it was just insanely hard. It still is insanely hard. I'll never do it, but I remember those first few weeks of Witness. I mean, we remember watching all of those insanely talented gamers grind to complete solo Witness, and Uzi was one of those gamers, so shout out to him. But the Boundless Clan team, they have so many great players, and they're coming together for the first time, and they've been practicing a bunch, and they're all super dedicated in the game. As I've mentioned again, representation everywhere. I mean, look at the players too. I mean, not just the States. I mean, it's so cool to see gamers coming together from all over the world. But yeah, Team Unemployed is going to be one to look for, and they are Team Employed today.
Well, I am very happy to introduce the next team, because again, another team that is very employed, but another team that actually won the last world's first, which was Sunder Doctrine. Let's talk about Team JBD.
I see the brothers.
So Team JBD with the Mario brothers, Mario Monkey and Luigi Style. Luigi, who also won the solo raid tournament that we were a part of hosting.
Shout out to that again.
Shout out to him.
Killed it.
And so, guys, this team has Mac, this team has Origin, Sutek, Luigi, Mario, and Strafe. This team is absolutely one of those newer teams that a lot of people are going to have to put on their radar. If you go from winning World's First, winning a solo raid boss tournament after, and then I always see Mario is going for his own solo raid boss gauntlet, where it's like, got to do all these solo raid bosses in a row with a timer on the screen just for the fun of it. He's throwing Nezarek around like he's a little piece of gum.
It's insane how that whole raid tournament went. It felt like the raid bosses were disappearing. They just disappeared. They just disappeared. The solos just disappeared. Shout out to the solo.
Shout out.
Solo tournament just was insane. I just gotta mention that they were turning raid bosses into nothingness. It felt like that was something where I remember I was like, oh, we might see a few solos, and it felt like non-stop Solo. Shout out to that solo tournament again. Once again, shout out to Rim and Silk and everybody as well.
Yep.
But seeing Luigi that day was
absolutely
insane.
And all these guys are insane. This is one of the youngest teams that is absolutely one of the teams to look out for in terms of just pure raw skill. And they already have players that have proved it multiple times. So again, be on the lookout for Team JBD.
Man, and with that being said, talking about goated gamers, let's go to the Halo 3 LAN party. Before I even talk about the team, anybody miss the days of LAN parties? Is it just me?
I do.
Like, you know, just
I do.
throwing a couple monitors
I
right
do.
next to
No,
each
I do.
other.
I do.
Just, you know, shoulder to
Yeah,
shoulder
and, like,
gaming. You know, it's just such a
On your
time,
own
right?
setup
Like,
too, like
just
right there.
Such a time,
Like
man.
there was no
Such
screen peeking because like
such
you just had your own
time.
setup. It was
Yeah, it's like, don't look at my screen.
yeah, it was like
Look at
you have your own monitor.
Look
like
at your screen.
or like
Sure.
even if you were playing split screen, like I don't know if any of like your siblings or like relatives or like friends would put like a little piece of cardboard to like block the
You guys
TV
would
at all.
split the TV?
Oh yeah,
No,
we would
didn't go
we
that
would
far.
have
You
somebody
guys-
sometimes with their head underneath the cardboard to hold up the cardboard like they were a balance weight in the middle, so they would only see the bottom of the TV.
Wow. Well, with that being said, absolutely goated gamers, Zero, Zim, Mox, Matt, Crypt, and Spark. What I'll say here, guys, for them, number 2 on run, only to harden the paint. They were 2nd place, and they were 7th. And then I believe they're 17th, as crazy as it is, 17th in both Crota and Salvation's Edge. They got something with the number 17. But obviously, like I said, Crota was the longest reprisal, and we know how difficult Salvation's Edge was. So getting those rankings across the board is insane. This is a team, the names already suck, but I mean, they're a bunch of amazing gamers, so make sure to check them out as well.
We do love a LAN party. Thank you everybody in chat for showing some support to these teams, by the way. And speaking of teams that are going to show support, there's an exotic that has a lot of history of support in Destiny 2. It was the mainstay, it was the OP exotic in Destiny 1 Vanilla, and its inventor was named Crux. So let's talk about the Crux team right now. T-Storm, Flarps, Dagger, Huey Tato, Curly Fry, and Snow. This team is, again, another one of those like young, up-and-coming, insanely talented, proven core, very consistent. And one of the things I want to point out is that T-Storm has actually improved in every single raid that they have done together. So in Crota, they were 26th, and then in Salvations, they were 18th, and then in Vespers, they were 13th, and then, you know, Sundered, they placed even higher. So again, I just want to let you guys know that this team has a lot of really, really talented players. So across the board, again, I know we keep saying it, it's like a broken record. They're consistent teams, they're talented, they're young, and you know what the main thing is, CB? We talked about burgers, we talked about nuts, we talked about fries. They're hungry.
They are.
They're hungry.
Very, very hungry. And moving on, let's talk about Team Void for a second, guys. So this is another insanely talented team, insanely talented. We got Adam, we got Wiz, we got the Rapier, we got Mork, we got Ballista, and we have Void as well. And so what I'll say about this team, guys, if you don't recognize Mork, they actually picked up Mork from math class, so we know the prestige of that name, and we know just how amazing of a clan math class is. And then also Rapier is from Team Elysium, and what do we need to say there? I mean, such a prestigious clan as well. So, I mean, this is a team full of amazing talent. I think they've been they've been racing together for a good while now at this point and practicing a bunch. So I think that everybody being added together is going to mesh extremely well. I think this could be another amazing team to look out for. And just, you know, shout out to them. I mean, this is a team, like I said, a lot of prestige and it's something to prove. I'm excited to see today.
I am too, CB. And again, we keep talking about new and up-and-coming teams. We talk about just these teams loaded with talent. We're talking about a lot of teams that, again, people just wouldn't know unless there's a spotlight shown on them. So that's hopefully what we're able to do. And Bog, speaking of somebody, Bog, thank you for your 10 gifted subs on my end, man. Bog, we love you. Another player that, like, again, Mr. Solo Witness himself. So guys, let's bring it over to a place, not Bog, I was gonna say Bog, I meant to say Bife. Bife talked about time mechanics, he talked about the manipulation. Well, what if we just had infinite time? What if we had a team that was all about infinity, the legend of it? This is also a team that is German. We've had a French team, and now we have a fully German team. So Team Infinity of Simple, Shinzi, Two-Face, Chaos Reese, Toby, and Major McWodka. This team has placed number 6 in Root of Nightmares. They've placed Ron 6th, Crota was 13th, Salvation's Edge was also 6th, and then Vesper's Host was 16th. So this team is not coming to play around. And I want to just stress again, it's not like they're not completely unproven of a world's first, because they do have a player with the world's first. If you remember, one of the best raids of all time, Deep Stone Crypt, Shinzi was a part of that team. So I want to let you guys know,
What else needs to be said
this
after
team,
that?
this team picked up Shinzi.
That's a team.
They are feeling really good, and again, very consistent.
Speaking of world's first, Evan,
Yeah.
let's talk about the most recent world's first. Let's
talk
talk
about
about
it.
Team Parabellum.
Let's do it.
The world's first Salvation's Edge team, guys, with Draken's Shadow, Ducky, Jake, Substancer, Styx, and Tyrex. So the first thing that you'll notice, guys, the team's different. So we don't have the full group that we had for Salvation's Edge. So we're gonna see how that plays a role in today's raid race. If you guys don't know, Bravo was a part of the world's first team. Bravo works at Bungie now. Astro has a wedding, so shout out to Astro. And then Ham, he is on a team we already talked about previously. So what all that goes to show is, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they perform today with a new group. We talked about it a little bit on the interview already, so we don't want to take too much because we already heard it from them. You guys got to hear firsthand in terms of the new team change and how they're adjusting with that. But it's just going to be something that we're going to be keeping track of today. But shout out to Parabellum, most recent world's first team.
So we've had hungry, we've had nuts, fries, burgers. Let's just take it to something else, maybe something a little bit more nutritious. Let's talk about Team Chicken here for a second, okay? Team Chicken of Nick, Severn, Jiffy, Carson, Logs, and Splits. This team has been racing for a long time. I mean, I will say, I'll be the first one to say it. Logs especially is one of those players that I always see a part of the top end of raid racing, always a part of that like kind of group that you hear about but you don't hear about. And so hopefully, again, this team, insanely good. They've been placing top 30 in most of the recent raids, and they have a lot of motivation to go for it. They're very hungry. Again, Team Chicken is very hungry.
Let's go.
So let's do it.
Let's go. And next team is Team from China. Evans was mentioning how much representation there's been from around the world, and this team is the team from China that is from China. And what we'll say about this team is, if you don't know about Han has placed top 10 in the last 4 contest races. I mean, this dude is an absolute gamer. And once again, it just goes to show, like I said, there's certain names that just fly under the radar, but if you're a part of, the hardcore raiding community, you know this name. This is a name that everybody knows about. And so this is a team that's crazy consistent, and I think they have a lot to prove, but I think they've already proved a lot at the same time. And so I'm really excited to see what Team from China does as well. We have Friday, we have Toolman, we have CMC, CWC, we have Han, and then just forgive me on the last 2. I'm not 100% sure. We got a Hunter, we got a Warlock, and shout out to both of them. They're all gamers.
If anybody can pronounce the name, put it in plain English for us so we can try.
Put it in for me, but shout out to all of them.
CB, I would say if there's one thing about
that?
Team from China, it's that they go hard in the paint.
Oh.
And I think we need to talk about Team Hard in the Paint. Team HITP, Hard in the Paint, representing Clan Luminous. This is Claw, Kai, SK, Faldo, Grangolf, and Puns. Woo. Now, one thing that I do want to mention here is that this team does not have Rowan this time. Rowan was a part of their Root of Nightmares clear. Faldo is going to be racing instead with this team. They are insanely good at the game. They are always placing very, very high. Aside from Root of Nightmares, I've seen them place, if you go check any raid report or any raid hub leaderboard, you're gonna see them in that upper echelon.
Everywhere.
This team is insanely good, and they're hungry, and they're ready to go hard in the paint.
Yes, they are. And moving on, we're gonna talk about John team, guys, and everything that needs to be said about this team is already on the graphic. I mean, look at these names. I mean, Dadbot, Zazzy, Vendetta, Zemo, ATP, Artsy. What do I need to say about this team? Let's just quickly start off with my boy Vendetta. I love you, Vendetta.
We love Vendetta.
Love Vendetta. World's first on Scourge of the Past, but also that original Caretaker solo. I mean, Vendetta and hardcore gaming, they just go together hand in hand. I mean, I love Vendetta, and he's just done so many amazing things throughout his career playing Destiny. I mean, he's insane. We see Zemo as well. World's first solo flawless run, was the first solo flawless of a raid since Wrath. Also won Evan's challenge that he put out for that.
Minus $1,000 to Zemo.
I know, so shout out to Zemo. Zemo on top of that also had it felt like almost every single dungeon speedrun a solo world record as well, and ATP as well. I mean, absolutely insane gamer, ATP, super smart, cracked a lot of puzzles throughout just his time playing Destiny. The Taylor Swift enjoyer, a lot to say about ATP as well, absolute GOAT. Just this whole team in general. This is just a team to look out for. Everybody on this team is super talented. John team is gonna be a team to look out for.
For sure, and I wanna talk about another team that's to look out for, a team that even looked out for everybody here by helping put together, and they put together this power rankings.
Shout out to Ted.
Let's talk about Clan Indebted, Team Indebted here. And you can see Echo, Tides, who provided us with the power ranking, Vanguard, Special Hero, Moonshame, and Pine. Now, one thing I want to point out is that you're going to notice Tides, Special Hero, and Pine from one thing that was done recently, and that was Vesper's Host, locking it on Aatrax, executing, and getting the kill on Aatrax. That was an insanely big accomplishment. But it's not just that. This team has always been right there, neck and neck, runners up, right there for the kills. Like, this team is insanely good.
Absolutely.
And they bring the passion too. Like, they are very, very hungry, and that's why, again, I know every team is hungry. I know that's obvious, but it's like, it's insane to just put into that level of play where you just have to be ready to go, and they've proven it.
Yes, they have. And shout out to A-Tides again. Remember, he put this together, and we appreciate him. And
we
lastly, to kick it off, or to end things and to kick it off, both of it, to kick off our next segment, but to finish things off, Team Elysium. I mean, what do we need to say about Team Elysium? I mean, so many worlds first at this point. 4, I mean, we have Kiro, Sun, Salt, OG, Vile, and Quaz. The one thing to note, just because I know you guys already know a ton about this team, but Sun is going to be replacing Moople. And so we're going to see how that affects things today. Once again, Elysium is having to adjust to having a team member be swapped. They've done it multiple times and still proven they can win. So, I mean, we'll see if it affects them at all today. But in general, one of the most consistent teams of all time. We've seen the most winningness of belts of all. I mean, it's just, it's insane what they've been able to do. I'm super excited to see what they do today. You guys know Elysium, and that kicks that. I keep saying kicks things off, but it really just ties things in a bow for the community projections. So
yeah, CB, I mean,
shout out to everybody.
They say that 3 is a dynasty, but 4, it's almost impossible. And they've defied what should be fate. They have made their own fate.
They have.
They really have.
Can we throw A-Tides links in chat as well as the video that has the summation of all of this? A-Tides, thank you again for putting this together. Love you, brother. Make sure that you guys check out his stream the next time he's doing it, during it. I think this was such a great way of spotlighting the community, and we appreciate you guys going through this with us. Make sure to check out everybody that we've covered. And now, let's talk about the things that are going to be disabled today.
Let's talk about the things that actually won't be in Desert Perpetual today.
Yeah.
We want to give you guys
We need to talk
a
about
fair
what we're going to be
shake.
able to be using. Let's talk about that very quickly here. Can we touch on that for a quick moment?
Let's talk about the disabled items list for a second here, guys. Okay, so these are the exotics that will actually be disabled today, and some of the other things that will be disabled.
Rattle them off. Actually, Evan, you know what?
You rattle them off, and I'll say it.
We got to. So the first thing we have, Outbreak Perfected.
Banned!
3rd iteration.
Banned!
Choir 1.
Banned!
Icebreaker.
Banned!
Ariel Diane.
Banned!
Hierarchy
Banned!
Banned! Temporal
Banned!
Weapon Mod.
Banned!
All right, let me go over the temporals real quick, because just so we can throw those real quick. But temporal tracker weapon mod, we got the temporal blast seasonal weapon mod, with the temporal armament seasonal weapon mod, the temporal adapter seasonal weapon mod, the temporal loader seasonal weapon mod, and then bounty and weapon leveling projection for combatant kills.
Banned!
Let me get one more, Evan.
Banned! Banned! band! Another band!
Oh man, always my favorite part of the day, guys. But this is going to be the list of things. Make sure if you guys haven't seen this already, either screenshot your screen. I know this has been tweeted out as well. We want to make sure that you guys have this to see, to know what you're not going to be able to use today. The one that I think of, Evan, that like is always my tried and true when I'm out of ammo. You know, I don't have any more special, I don't have any more heavy, and we just need an itty bitty bit more damage just to finish things off. Usually I grab that Outbreak Perfected and it sends us home to the finish line, but it's banned. So I can't use that. No. So with that being said, guys, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how, I mean, like we said, so many amazing gamers in the community now jump through these hoops and decide what they're going to use today. It's going to be very, very interesting.
It will be. And I mean, you know, that's the fun of day ones as well. It's just kind of navigating with what you got. It's one of those situations where, hey, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like, you know, whenever you're watching any form of sports, it's like, hey, you know, maybe somebody's injured on the field, maybe there's this. It takes the right mindset and the right player to be like, hey, look, it doesn't matter. We knew that something was going to come up. We got to work around it. We got to achieve.
It's true. It's no different than thinking about, like, with sports, either planning around injuries or planning around weather. Like, it could be like football, snowing. You already know it could possibly snow or rain, and you just got to kind of play through it.
And there's
part of the game.
And there's a story that I want to talk about.
Touch on it real quick.
So as we know, Val the Disciple, some teams were getting to roll pretty quick. Some teams were having some struggles getting all connected and ready to go. But over that time, the team that ended up winning was also facing a lot of struggles, and they had to overachieve to basically come out on top. So I want you guys to know, just because something is banned doesn't mean that you can't come out and win, okay?
Am I banned?
Well, you were if you were to wear that Salvations patch, but I took it off and threw it away. It's Desert Perpetual now, man.
Can I hear it one more time?
Banned!
All right, and with that being said, guys, that is your disabled list, so make sure you guys plan accordingly for that. You still have a little bit of time. We have, as crazy as it is, we're getting close though, guys. We only have about 41 minutes until it's the time that the raid race starts, guys. But before it starts, we have such a cool segment planned that I'm super, super grateful. Before I even start off by saying what it is, we just need to say a big thank you. You guys know the game director, Tyson. I mean, you know him, you love him. We've seen him a bunch in different interviews throughout the community on Edge of Fate and a lot of the information that's been coming in this DLC. But he also took the time, and I'm really, really grateful, not only to talk about Edge of Fate, but to talk about raiding in general and what raids mean to him. Also, Destiny 1 stuff that will come in my D1 video later. So just, Tyson, if you're listening, thank you again.
Thank you, Tyson.
You guys are going to hear from the game director on raiding in general, and I'm just excited for you guys to hear it. So
let's go.
Get back to you guys in a little bit. We'll see you.
With that being said, I know a lot of people know who you are, but do you want to tell everybody who's watching who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Tyson Green. I'm the game director for Destiny 2. I'm appearing without my hat, which is what most people recognize me for. So introductions paid. I'm happy to be talking to you.
I think it's a good look too. I'm happy you're doing this. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And so I think that there's so many people that what made them fall in love with Destiny, including myself, is the raiding experience. I mean, it's such a magical and unique and one of a kind of experience in Destiny. I know there's a lot of different raids and a lot of different genres of games, but in terms of the way that Destiny has implemented it, has always, in my opinion, just been magical. So the first question I just wanted to ask you is, what's your favorite raid and why?
I mean, I'm going to give you the most boring possible answer because it's the answer you probably hear most often. It's probably VOG for me, Vault of Glass. And it's just so hard to top that raid for me because everything was new, everything was fresh. It was the first raiding experience I got to do with my friends outside of Bungie. So it was their first experience too, and they were seeing things for the first time. But for me personally, the things that the team did in VOG were not things you were allowed to do in shooters. There was things that you're just like, the first time I came up to the drop after the Templar, and I looked down at and I actually remember things like, I mean, there's a kill bomb down there, right? Like, there? Really? Can we even do that? And it was that experience of just taking all the limits off and saying let's just do something crazy. Really made that experience for me. And then when I got to finally experience it as a player for the first time, I discovered things in that raid that I didn't even know about as a dev. It's like the first time we cleared the Templar, and one of my friends says to me, "Is like, hey, let's take the back route," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
There's a back route.
And he's like, "Oh, over here, there's a chest, and you jump up into the room." And I'm like, "There's a chest there?" I don't remember setting the rewards up for a chest there. Like, what is even in this chest? And then to go down to that winding route of like geometry that shouldn't exist, you're just like, what were they even doing back here? This is amazing. I just couldn't believe it. I was struck dumb. And I worked on this game. Like I worked on that product, and I didn't know these things. And here we are doing this thing. It succeeded in being like a novel experience for me, even though I worked on the game. So that's why VOG has like a special place in my heart from a player experience. There's lots of things about all the other raids that I love, like mechanics from here, like experiences and stories from there. But yeah, oh my god, and just the ridiculous fun that me and a good friend had trying to shoulder charge everybody off of every ledge that we could possibly find. Templar well into the
Into the
Mega
abyss
Man
down
bubble pits.
yeah.
Notch Boss was hysterical. It was like so funny that was like one of the leading killers in VOG. Like just lots of special things about that raid for me.
Right. And I mean, I completely agree. That was such an interesting and magical time, really, too, because there was really no precedent that you guys had set before. So everything was
Yeah.
so new. And it wasn't like after we finished the campaign, like, nowadays, let's even just take, when we dive into Edge of Fate, we'll finish the campaign and we'll know a raid is coming. But there really wasn't anything that was like, oh, this is the next thing after the campaign.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a raid to look forward to or to level up for. It kind of just came out of nowhere. And
It was new and unexpected.
right.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
didn't come into that with any like notion of what it needed to be or what it had to deliver. You're just like, what is this thing? There's like
A note
things you
here.
stand on outside. Like how do you? What the hell is this thing? And then people are like, oh my god, like what is this thing? This is incredible. Can you make more of these things? Or like, can we? Like, I mean, can we top that? That was pretty amazing. And then the team is just like, hold my beer and just completely just started killing it for the next couple of years.
Right. And I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I remember just like a little core piece that I do remember because I wasn't a hardcore player in the slightest when I started D1. I was very new to the space, but you would just go into the patrol space and you'd see 6 players randomly, kind of standing on these plates, and then you see something open and you try to go through it with them, and obviously you can't really follow them. But it's like, well, what are they doing? And that was kind of what introed me into figuring out what in the world it was they were doing, and just all the mystery behind everything, the characters, the Praetor, the Kabirs, the weapons being rare. Everything about it was just magical. So I respect the answer.
I remember it was so important to Luke that the entrance was in that public space for exactly that reason. Like seeing 6 other players doing something and just being like, what are they doing? And then like sometimes coming in and helping out, and it's like,
right,
oh, there's a rando here like helping us do the plates. Like, rock on, rando. I wish we could bring you with us, but
that was me.
hopefully this like lights your fire. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. So staying on the rate topic, but like taking it a little bit broader, because obviously Vault of Glass, now that was 2014. Here we are in 2025. So we've had a lot of rating history since. Like we touched on it a little bit with Vault of Glass, but just on a little bit of a broader scale, what would you say makes raiding so special in Destiny? We have raids in plenty of other games, but it just feels different when it's with Destiny.
I mean, the real answer is our Raid and Dungeons team. Like they are top of the game as far. I don't think anyone's doing anything like them. They're really a spectacular team. But like, just to speak to the experiences themselves, I think it's a couple of things. Like they don't they don't hold your hand, right? Like they respect you as a player. Like they basically say like, here's a problem, figure it out. We know you can do it, like, but it's on you to do it. Like we're not going to flash up a tutorial. We're not going to like mercy rule you through it. We're basically just saying like, rise to the challenge and do it. And I think that's That's not that common, I think, in like the AAA space, because like
Not at all.
you can't afford to spend that kind of content on something that's going to bounce 95% of players. Like, you're just not allowed to do that. And we were like, no, this is important. Like, we need to do this. Like, it can't be like something that you aspire to if like everyone can do it. So here you go. Here's the challenge. Like, we respect you as a player. I mentioned it in talking about VOG, but it also they just kind of like they reject the notion of like being limited. Like, they just say, like, we want to have spaces that just you don't do anywhere else in the game. We want to do like, puzzles and traversals and just scales that are just not seen anywhere else, even in Destiny. And those things, like, there's moments, especially like Salvation's Edge has just some great traversal moments where you're like looking down, you're like, oh my God, like, this is the holy crap, it's all down there. And that's just amazing. And then this is a little bit of like the secret sauce that the Raid and Dungeon team brings to the process, but they start from a fantasy, like a relatable fantasy of what an encounter and what a raid is supposed to be about. And then they work backwards from that fantasy into the mechanics and into the execution. And I think the end result is that you get some really special encounters that are not, they avoid the idea of formulas by starting from like diverse fancies. One of the Raid and Dungeon leads they gave a talk to the other designers at Bungie and was explaining how this particular encounter started off with the idea of that really old Burger Factory game on like, I don't even, Nintendo. I think it's pre-NES, like Burger Factory, of like having to like, catch the ingredients at the end of the conveyor belt before and then assemble them into the burger. And you're like, that's a deep cut. And you translated that into a rating. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was the like inspiration for, I think, one of the raid players in
I'll have to go touch up on my history. Burger Factory.
Yeah, so but it's not called Burger. I can't even remember what it's called. But the idea that you're just like starting with these relatable but like really weird fantasies and then translating them into the Destiny sandbox and encounter language is I think part of the secret sauce. Like, it's part of what makes these encounters feel so unique and special.
Right. And I think you guys have like really nailed that. And it's really interesting how you said it too. It's like in most AAA spaces, like taking so many of your resources towards something that, at least in theory, not the majority of your base is going to be playing, but then turning this into this magical and outside of just magical, I'd also say core part, an integral part of Destiny in general. It's very interesting how it was almost like working backwards to go forward. It's like, oh, well, that might be a little counterintuitive, but it ended up turning it into one of the most, I would say, core concepts of Destiny. Destiny and raiding go hand in hand. So it's really cool how that ended up working out.
And it's interesting. Like, early in Destiny 1 development, it was by far a sure thing that Destiny was going to have raids, right? There was like early discussions. Because remember, around that period of time when Destiny was in early development, like 2009, 2010, a lot of people were looking at World of Warcraft as, this thought leader for cooperative, like social game design. And so obviously you look at Warcraft raids and say things like, well, what are they doing there? And can we do that in our game? And there was a lot of that concern of like, can we actually do that? And I remember actually the team starting to prototype some of these things, and there's like this really early prototype encounter where I think inspired kind of by the Gothic encounter in Naxxramas, where there was like two separate rooms and creatures in both rooms that you had to like, the fire team had to split up and like deal with them in parallel. And if you got too far out, like you'd end up wiping. And it was a very simple encounter by contemporary standards. Most of the D1 encounters are, but it was like a proof of concept that I think people think is like, there's like something to this. But I recall when Luke stepped into the lead role for raids back then, it was like this, Luke knows raids, like he's going to make this first one happen, and boy, did they ever make that first one happen, like in ways that I think surprised everybody, even people at the studio.
Yeah, no, I mean, it came out great, and I think that it's changed not even just the landscape of Destiny, but in gaming in general. And so, in terms of that development and evolvement, or I would say, or maybe the evolving timeline of how raids kind of went from Vault of Glass. Now here we are at Salvation's Edge. Another thing that really has evolved over time has really been raid racing, which has been another side of it as well. We've had, we've seen it go from Vault of Glass to Salvation's Edge, but we've also seen raid racing evolve over this 11-year period now, where it started off very much, people still cared about being first, but things have really escalated eventually. We hit belts, and we've done all of these different things up to the point of now Evan and I running a show, with Raid Zone, which we're very grateful that you're doing this with us here for, because we love raid racing. We love seeing the community push each other and really take, I would say, Destiny like gameplay to the pinnacle, and not even just of gameplay, but also problem solving. It turns into this super magical, like crazy high octane of like once in a year thing for Destiny, where we just shoot up to the top of the directory, and it is the best. It's really the Super Bowl is really the only way to put it. And so what I wanted to ask for you is, do you enjoy watching the community come together and push to be first, and seeing how that's evolved over these 10 years? Like, how do you feel about raid racing?
I mean, it's like you said, it's that moment during every release where like everyone gets to like sit down and watch the masters at work. And that's, it's like, it's entertaining, it's inspiring, it's like humbling, it's like all the best emotions that you feel as a game developer are coming to the fore when we get to watch the community engage at that scale, at that level of like intensity, at the level of passion. It's they're so much fun. I mean, it used to be that we're all in the office, right? So like we'd be like, you'd walk around the office on a raid launch day, and just everyone had their screens on. You'd be like watching, what are you watching? Like who's there, where they're at. And since we all have gone to work from home days, it feels a little bit more spread out. But I know that at least the raid team at Bungie, they do still get together for this event, and they really make it like a team watching event. I've heard stories of people like, sleeping in the theater because like some of those raids have run pretty long.
Pretty long, yeah.
For me at least, like the Edge of Fate, or sorry, the Salvation's Edge raid, I was watching it until very late, and then it's like, I've got to go to sleep. Like I've got a little baby that I got to look after in the morning. So I like went to sleep, and then I woke up in the morning. Well, yeah. Well, I remember getting up in the morning and being like, they're not done yet. I was like, oh my God, what have we done to these poor people? So, but it's, they're just spectacular fun. I love them. The team loves them. And I really, it's enormously gratifying to see how much the players actually enjoy them too.
I think they've been life-changing, and I think that it's something that is only going to continue to build over the years. As a fan, it's something that I love getting to watch the community really take things to the pinnacle, and seeing new names rise to the forefront, and new, dynasties, in a sense, like in terms of clans come together and win multiple times, and just seeing the history of how things have progressed. It's been something, as a fan, I love, and it's something that I always want to be a part of. So super happy you guys created that experience, and looking forward to seeing how the racers do today.
Yeah, I mean, it's good luck to them, and we'll be watching.
Oh man. Well, before we even go any further, guys, I just want to, can we get some love to Tyson, guys? I mean, he didn't have to do that, and getting to shed light on just raiding in general. I think really, really cool. Love getting to hear those stories. Hopefully that's something you enjoyed. Tyson, if you can hear me, thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Tyson.
Just such a cool interview, and happy that got to be a part of Raid Zone as well. Raids are just so cool. They're so cool. It's cool to hear about it.
It's a big part of, you know, what made me want to even begin my channel on YouTube. It's all about raid history, raid stories, and community stories. And honestly, raids represent the community as a whole, I think. And hearing like how passionate Tyson was in that interview, just like it makes me even more fired up for raid day. So this is the community's day. This is Bungie's day. This is everybody's day, man. This is Destiny.
Everybody's
Christmas.
day. It's just everybody's day, man. I just still think about it, hearing those like old Vault Glass stories to even just, I remember being in college, Evan, and I couldn't get out of class one day, but I was glued to Twitch watching the first raid race I watched start to finish, at least, was the King's Fall.
Oh yeah, that was a great one.
And I was in my computer science class, and don't repeat this on anybody, but you know, I had Stack Overflow and Java on one screen where I was coding a PA, but then on the other, because I had a monitor too, I had the raid race on, and I was locked for that from start to finish. And seeing Oryx get defeated back in 2015, which, believe it or not, we're almost at the 10-year anniversary of Take King, by the way, which is insane.
That'll be this fall.
It'll be this fall, but I still remember being in class, and that was my first raid race start to finish, and I fell in love with it from there. So,
oh yeah.
So now to be commentating this with you,
Thank you.
with Bungie here, is just such a dream. So just again, guys, thank you for supporting Raid Zone, the Dungeon Zones, all the zones events that we've done. This has just been such a cool journey. And it's just so humbling to get to be a part of it.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think, you know, I remember being in high school and like all of a sudden it was like, wait, there's a team out there that cleared this thing in Destiny. There's this one other thing. It's called like a raid, and it was like this mythical tale. It was the forbidden fruit. It was the oh, this activity is so hard that now I want to be there because I'm hearing the stories of the loot is so juicy. I'm hearing tales of like, it's a place unlike anything else in the game. It's where you're gonna get your max level at the time, Forever 29, and all that kind of stuff. And then of course, Crota Day 1 comes in, it's like releases on the day of, we're like, whoa, it's like Crota came in and slammed the sword down on all of us, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, everybody pulled their Ethernet cables at a certain point. Hey, I'm looking at you. Don't be cheesing Crota. Put some respect on Crota. Anyway.
Yeah, finish him instead.
Finish your glitch him instead. And then all of a sudden it turned into this big spectacle where we saw King's Fall go down. We saw the kill of Oryx, and then it was like a sprint. It was the, okay, we're ready to go. So the evolutions as time has gone on has been really impressive, and seeing the different eras of everything has also been impressive. So we're really excited to be your hosts for what is the next era.
Yeah, we had the Light and Dark saga that gave us 10 years of raids and 18 raids, and now here on the 19th, this new saga of Destiny. Like, we are in, guys, all together, all of us here together are going to be experiencing the next era, the next saga, the next of whatever is next. And so, super hyped, guys. I mean, and it's crazy too, just looking at the clock. We are now less than 20 minutes, guys, away from the day 1 raid race for Desert Perpetual.
Let's go! Less than 20. Less than 20 till the gates are open and everybody is jumping into the desert.
Yeah, and with that being said, we want to ask, because we asked it a little bit earlier, but I want to ask it again, guys. How long do you think today is going to go? We know how long Raid Zone went last time. Last time, Evan and I stood for 19 hours. 19 hours we stood.
We did.
Now, admittedly, I couldn't stand for the next few days after that. But I would do it again in a heartbeat. Well, what are you guys thinking in chat? What do you guys think for today? Well, how long are we thinking? If we had to take some guesses, I want to hear what you guys got to say. Let me take a look in chat and take a look at what some of you guys are saying. Let's see. I'm seeing some 8s. I'm saying 15.
I'm seeing 8 to 10 hours. Somebody said 2. Somebody said 11.
I see 13.
36 and 5 minutes.
Hey,
we're here for it.
Hey, as long as the last
10
day,
hours,
I'm here.
24, 5, 22, 7 to 9, 8 to 18.
11.
And then somebody said, not 36 hours. We can't do 36 hours. 99 hours.
I see 13 hours. I see 9 to 13. I see a never finished. They just go forever. There you go. They just never get solved. Let's see. I see a 12. I see some 8s. I kind of see everything all over the place. It sounds like we're pretty much kind of all over the place. And what I want to do, Evan, except remember what we did last time, and we were both admittedly so off. So off. I think my prediction for Salvation's Edge might have been like between 5 and 8.
Oh yeah, we definitely planned for like 8 at the max.
We were so off.
We were like,
so,
yeah, 8
but
at the
so
max.
let's what do you think of today, Evan? We do it every raid zone. We got to do it again today.
Oh,
What do
you know,
think?
the thing is, it's a new era. So
is
it's
a new
like,
era.
So it's like, okay, you cap off Salvations. Like, this is just my head thinking. But like, you cap off Salvations.
Right.
You have the giant puzzle that's Verity, and then you have Witness, which is a puzzle to get to damage, and then the damage is really hard to do.
Right.
And it was such a monumental raid in that way.
Right.
That I almost feel like you kind of you can't. And I'm not saying I wouldn't love this, but you can't always do the puzzle in every single raid. You can't always do, like, because you got to spice things up. You got to have your raids got to feel a little bit different. So in my head, my thinking is that because of that,
You're building me up here, Evan. You're building me up.
and with this new era of players,
I'll wait here a number.
and with this new era of players, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm putting my mark, and you guys can go over or under this.
Evan,
I'm
you're
putting.
educating me.
I'm educating you.
Come on.
I'm putting my mark at 5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours.
Okay. Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with at least Bungie number 7.
Bungie number 7. Okay.
7 minimum. 7 minimum. I'm gonna guess at least 7.
Okay, you're going at least 7.
At least 7.
Okay.
Now, I kind of just prices right at you. I
You
went
did.
above.
Well,
I
you
said
didn't
five.
go
I'm
one
gonna
above.
I'm
You
gonna go
went two
5 and a
above.
dollar. I'm gonna go.
You go five in 10
I'm gonna go
minutes.
5 and a dollar.
A brand new car is coming to you. A brand new raid jacket is coming to you.
A brand new raid jacket and raid belt will come to the winner. But guys, I see a lot of different predictions in chat. Honestly, that's the fun part, though. We have no idea, and we'll see. I think it's going to depend on a lot of different factors. It'll depend on, we'll see if the community gets stumped. I think that's one part of it. We saw with Verity, there was a super, like, you know, a complex puzzle, and that took a long time to solve. We've also seen other ways to get the community stuck too, with maybe very tight damage checks.
Yes.
That could be a possibility
Execution.
too. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's full-on execution, and maybe this is one where it requires perfection execution-wise. Maybe that's the case.
Maybe.
Maybe it's both. Maybe it's something else that we're just not thinking about.
Maybe so.
That's the thing to remember. It is a new era, and the thing that I at least said is I want to see something that just kicks this era off, breaking the mold. So we'll see.
And to get us kicked off, we have a very, very special trailer for you guys to get things started. That is going to pretty much wrap up our pre-show. We had some predictions. We had some cool interviews. We had some power rankings. We had all of it.
We had a
for
lot.
you
What you guys
guys
think of the pre-show?
What'd you
Hope guys
think?
enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Let's get some love on the pre-show,
maybe
guys.
some
What did
hearts
you
for
guys
everybody
think?
that was a part of every the pre-show, because man, what a bunch of amazing segments. Whether it was just to kind of re-rattle through them, just a big shout out to Bife for coming on and being a part of everything. Big shout out to Team Parabellum for being a part of things as well. Big shout out to Sweat for coming in and talking about the raid tips. Big shout out to A-Tides putting together the community projections segment that we went through. And lastly, big shout out to Tyson Green, the game director who came on and talked to us about raids. We're so grateful, and it is now time to get into that spicy trailer that we just talked about, and then it is going to be time for the main show.
Let's get it going, guys.
Let's go.
Enjoy the trailer and get ready for the main show.
Let's go.
Okay, nope. Got him. Got him. Oh, we did it! Let's go! Please, Bungie, don't troll. Anti-suit. Oh my god. Let's go. We finally got it. Let's go. Wait.